more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit HireGood.ca. Mention Jason Gregor for first-time discount. HireGood.
When your project can't afford equipment rentals, excavators and loaders to compensate. Jaffa has the machines you need. Relocations.
At Farm Team, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings up,
what's it like to score a winning deal at Car West Leduc? Like raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience used vehicles with no extra fees, trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive, Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Looking for mental health or addiction support, but not sure where to start? Contact 211. 211 Alberta can help you navigate treatment and recovery options, counseling, crisis services, and more. And because life's challenges are often connected, they can also help you find food, housing, and employment support. It's free, confidential, available 24/7, and offered in more than 240 languages by phone. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Trying to get to 2-0 if they can get into the end zone. Faking the rocket.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
What a magnificent Monday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you had yourselves a wonderful weekend. A little bit rainy, I would guess, for most of you. 5 inches on the rain gauge in St. Albert. So I don't know if you have rain gauges in your backyard, wherever you're at. I'd be curious where it came in at, because, man, it has been a long time since we had that much rain in a 2-day span. Basically started, like Saturday morning at 8, it seemed, and it was just relentless. I didn't go to the Elks game. I know Declan was there, but talked to some friends who were there, and like you're watching on television, and it was not a drizzle. Like, I've been in games outside where it was a little bit of a rain, like that was a downpour, and it would come in sheets at times, just waves. But the Elks are 2-0, and Justin Rankin is great. Cody Fajardo has been being reliable. There's got no issues with the quarterback play. The defense has been able to shut it down when it matters at key times. First team in regular season anyway to hand Davis Alexander a loss. So that was key. If you were on the Jason Gregor Show on Play Alberta, we swept. We had Hamilton, Toronto, Edmonton, and Saskatchewan in our parlay for the weekend because it was a triple header on Saturday. We hit them all. So, now this week I would say it's a little bit tougher. Now, 2 of those games did go to overtime, so it was still very difficult. But I do like Montreal at home to Ottawa. Ottawa does not look very good. BC and Calgary, both teams winless, 0-2. And the BC Lions got so many injuries. Like, that's what's great about Edmonton. Not only are they 2-0, they're already 4 points up on Calgary and BC. It gives themselves a little bit of breathing room. And now you go into Winnipeg. Who knows? Could they go 3-0 to start a season? Are you kidding me? 3-0 for the Elks? Dare to dream, Elks fans, dare to dream. And then, of course, the Saskatchewan, who is also undefeated. Them and the Elks, the only teams who have yet to lose a game this season. So that was big. The Edmonton Oilers announced it. No surprise. We've been talking about this. Connor Murphy, one, no surprise to me. I thought he'd come in around $4 million. Jason Dickinson, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised for 2 reasons. A, I thought he might want to test the free agent market just to see, but hey, he got $20 million. He got a pretty good contract. And AAV, $4 million. I don't mind that contract at all. Like the Murphy one, yeah, he's 2 years older. So, you wonder, hey, will it be an issue? It might be an issue down the road. But look at all the teams around the league that have where you're a competitive team. Every one of them's got guys who are over 35 with 2 or 3 years left on their contracts, which is what Connor Murphy will be. Right? Matthias Ekholm's that for the Edmonton Oilers. You look at, Mark Stone in Vegas, and, we can go down the list. Thomas Hertel in Vegas, he's making $6.7 million. He'll be over 35 near the later stages of that deal. It's just, that's how it goes. Now, Mark Stone's entering the last year of his contract now, but what do you think he's going to get? What's his next deal going to get? Him and Kelly McCrimmon, like those guys are peas and carrots. I don't see him going anywhere in Vegas, but teams have it. Florida's got a lot of them. Brad Marchand, amongst others. You look at, Florida's interesting with that, obviously with the big trade that they made, but you look at their roster now. Now they free up Bobrovsky, so that's a big one. And that's the other one. Like everybody's saying, 35's too old. Really? How old was Bobrovsky when they won both of their Stanley Cups? Was he 36 and 37? Yeah. What about Jordan Staal? Didn't he just win the Conn Smythe, 37 years of age? Played way better than anybody thought he was. He'd never scored that many goals when he was 20, when he was 22, when he was 29, when he was 31, never. So I think at times you can get too worried about, what if they age poorly? Well, but what's our definition of poorly? Maybe Connor Murphy will be a good penalty killer in the playoffs when he's 36. Block a few key shots. That's what his role is, right? Like he's not going to score a lot of goals for you. So I wouldn't get too caught up in the, they're all going to be old. Like Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett. Look at these guys. They're signed till 2033. And, they're 30 years of age, so they'll be older. That's just kind of how the price to win is to want to keep good players. And the only way to keep them is to give them a little bit extra term. I don't mind either contract. Neither one's like, oh my God, this one is going to age incredibly well for the team, right? Because they're older guys. They're not huge offensive number guys. But for value contracts, I think they'll give you good value. Dickinson, Murphy, their natural tendency is to be defensive first. And as anybody who's watched the Oilers knows, that's the area of their game that they need to improve on. They got to limit their goals against, man. It is not even debatable. And I'll run some numbers for you because I discussed it today, and it's not just the bottom end guys. It's their top end guys. So I went through other good teams. So, and if you look at goals against per 60, based on your minutes played, because some guys will have more goals against, but if they play way more minutes, well, obviously, so why don't we look at goals against per 60? So you look at Carolina, the highest goal against per 60 on their team. And I use players that played at least 40 games, 500 minutes, 5-on-5. Sebastian Aho was at 2.85. Their lowest was Jankowski at 1.56. They had lots of guys right in that wheelhouse. Then you go to Vegas. Their highest was Hurdle at 3.04. Lowest, Shea Theodore, who played 1,200 minutes. He was at 1.92. Really good. Colorado. Nichushkin was their highest at 2.47. Still pretty good. And Malinsky, who played 1,322 minutes, he was at 1.41. Then you go to Dallas. Duchesne, 2.83. And he was their only player over 2.5. And then Oscar Bach, depth guy, he was at 1.6. Those guys were all playing in the 700-minute range. Here's Edmonton last year. Players who fall into the category of at least 40 games, over 500 minutes, 5-on-5. I'm going to read you every Oiler player. Remember, the highest on Carolina was 2.85. The highest in Vegas was 3.04. The highest in Colorado, 2.47. Highest in Dallas, 2.83. Here's Edmonton's goals against per 60. Mangiapane, 3.72. Wallman, 3.56. Nugent-Hopkins, 3.08. Hyman, 2.97. McDavid, 2.94. Roslovic, 2.90. Draisaitl, 2.88. All of those guys were higher than anybody on Carolina, anybody on Colorado, anybody on Dallas. Right? Bouchard, Ekholm, 2.82, 2.81. Savoy, 2.72. Nurse, 2.7. Stastny, 2.58. Henrique, 2.57. Frederick, 2.39. Podkolzin, 2.36. And the best guys were Emberson and Kapanen, 2.01. Now, I know, guys, Podkolzin's numbers were fantastic. Right? Podkolzin and Kapanen had really high goals for percentage, right? Goals against. They didn't give up a lot, and they outscored them. Now, the Oilers guys that like Draisaitl, McDavid, they still outscored their opponents, but they gave up way too much. Right? I know everybody's like, oh my God, the bottom's got to produce more. Yes, a little bit more, no question. But a lot of their numbers were from guys, Wallman, Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman, McDavid, Roslovic, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Ekholm. All over 2.8. It's not good enough. Flat out. Not good enough from your top-end guys. So now Dickinson comes in. He's not a top-end player as far as top six forward, right? He's a third-line guy. He knows exactly who he is. He's comfortable in who he is. Murphy, same thing. Now, where those two guys will probably help the most is the penalty kill. And I know I saw a lot of people when I wrote the article say, oh, Gregor, what are you talking about Dickinson? The penalty kill sucked, and he was on it. Was he, though? Now, let's look at the numbers. You're right. He was on the penalty kill in the playoffs. But he only played in 4 games. And in those 4 games, the Oilers allowed 6 goals on the penalty kill. He played the most minutes, and he was on for 1. He played 7 minutes of a penalty kill time. They had 13 minutes and 38 seconds total. So the 7 minutes with Dickinson on the ice, 1 goal against. The 6:38 without Dickinson, 4 goals against. So tell me who made the numbers bad. It sure as hell wasn't Dickinson. Right? It wasn't. That guy kills penalties, and he's good at it. Now, and as a Dickinson said, the system is, you got to find a system that works for your group. You can have a great system, but if you don't have the guys to play that way, it's not going to work. I thought he had a fantastic answer. Cons, we'll get to it a little bit later on in the show today. But Dickinson and Murphy were half of the best penalty kill unit in the NHL in Chicago. Dickinson and Mikheyev, Vlasic and Murphy. They played the most. And they were together a ton. And they didn't get scored on very much. It was key. So I look and say, hey, I'm Mike Babcock. Who's going to be in my top pair defense on the penalty kill? Murphy. Who's going to be my first guy over the boards? Dickinson. Now I got to find who to play with. Now, when Dickinson played with Kapanen on the penalty kill, they're really good this year. Regular season and the playoffs. So now Kapanen is going to test the free agent market. Maybe he's a Brett Kulak, does a circle, finds the offers. I still like it in Edmonton. Because I'd have time for re-signing Kasperi Kapanen. I don't think he's going to cost you that much. I could be wrong. Maybe another team's like, no, we're going to pay this guy 3+. I think you might be able to get him for like 2.2. And he's not going to require the term like those other guys do. At least I don't think so. Now, all it takes is one team. But if it's not him, then you got to find a guy who works with Dickinson and keep them together and build some continuity. Why is the Oilers' power play so good? They got good power play guys. But they've also got unbelievable continuity because they played together a ton. And if you look at the history of the best penalty power plays, usually it's you get a good group, they stay together, they stay high. And that's what happens. So Dickinson and Murphy, it's pretty clear to me. Penalty killers, 5-on-5. Limit some goals. Now, Dickinson, I'd like him to chip in a little bit more. And I asked him about that today. Like the year he scored 22, what was different in your mindset? He said, well, I feel like I like to do what our line isn't good at. Some years I'm more of a forechecker if I feel that. Other years, I think I can be the shooter. I'll be the shooter. And that was the year. And if you look at his numbers, he shot the puck a fair amount more that season. So obviously you'd love any year to want to shoot the puck more, but he's a guy who, I'm not going to say he doesn't care about personal stats, but if you look at the numbers, he's like, I'm about what makes our line go, what should be my responsibility on the line, how can I help the team? It's a pretty good attitude, right? I think we'd agree with it and say, hey, it's pretty good. Because if you look at it, like the year he scored 22, he had 126 shots, which is not, it's higher than other years. He did have 114 the year before and had a double shooting percentage. So it definitely was higher. But like he went from 22 goals and 126 shots. The next year he had 7 goals on 56 shots. Now, granted, he missed some games. But if you look at his shots per game, he didn't average a shot per game in 25 with Chicago, where he averaged a shot and a half in 24. So he clearly shot way more. There's no doubt about that. So if you look at the third line for the Oilers, Nugent Hopkins, Dickinson, Frederick, based on the roster today, possibility. Nuge isn't a huge volume shooter, but that's not a bad potential third line. Size, good speed. You got some smart players, potential. So we'll see what Babcock does. Speaking of Babcock, my understanding is he's flying into Edmonton today, as is Stan Bowman, and I think we could see a press conference tomorrow to officially announce he is going to be the head coach. That's Captain Obvious. Just a matter of when will they make it official, if you know what I mean. So we'll get into all of that on the show today. Also, we'll talk a little golf. Kevin Woodley is going to be by talking hockey. Austin Mack, receiver for the undefeated Elks, will join us. Also, Zach Stortini, former Oiler. He is the new head coach in his turn going pro. He's been an assistant coach. Now he's been working on coaching for a while. We've had Zach on the show, coaching junior. Now he's going to the pro level. He's in the Colorado organization, so he will join us. We got Speck, Cam Tate, George Richards, of course, talking that Brady Tkachuk trade. And Cons, what was your highlight? What stood out for me on the sporting weekend?
Oh my goodness, Justin Rankin. How could he not be the guy? He just the tried, tested, and true formula with him. Just keep feeding him the ball. Eventually, he's going to make someone look silly in the backfield and take it to the house. The conditions there, I'm starting to think, kind of favor him. It's like he thrives playing in that weather, and that was probably the standout for me. And then even at the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark, getting worse every round. But his first round was so good, he's able to hang on to the top spots. So you got to give credit where it's due. You start off 7 under par. That's a good way to win the U.S. Open, apparently.
So Justin Rankin needs to average 45 yards rushing per game to get to 1,000 the rest of the year. He's off to that good of a start.
Then he'll go to 1,000 receiving yards, maybe.
Yeah, well, if you look at the so he needs 855 receiving yards, which is an average of 53 per game to get there. So like his dream of 1,000 is very much after 2 weeks, very live. Like the rushing one seems like a no-brainer. The only thing that's going to stop him would be an injury. Knock on wood. Hope it doesn't happen. But he is right now, without question, the biggest threat in the CFL.
12 targets as a receiver, 10 receptions. Very efficient. 5 for 5 last game. So, yeah, and that's in bad conditions, right?
Yeah.
So he's hanging on to the football. He's a very good receiver. Heck of a start. And the interesting numbers. Very attainable. Like that's a big play from him. For some people, that might be a game. For him, that's one play, one missed tackle, and he's gone. So, yeah, he was incredible.
Yeah, so no, but he's entertaining. Elks fans have been, you know what, you've been in the muck for many years. If you're a fan of the green and gold, the team hasn't been very good. They're pointing arrows up. They're not going to go undefeated. They're not a dominant team yet, but there's lots of things I liked about that game. We'll get Declan on later on in the show to discuss. I didn't love the play calling in the fourth quarter. That was my complaint, especially the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. Thought it was way too predictable, way too passive. Like, you got to go for the jugular there. That should have been a game that you had a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go. You got to put the hammer down, man. You got to get some first downs. You got to get a little bit. And I know that Rankin's a great guy, but it was too predictable and too easy. The delayed draw run play, it doesn't need to be called all the time. So that was my thoughts on that. We'll come back. Kevin Woodley will join us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Looking for a truck that can handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedorik, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
If you've got a lot of grass to cut, or just a little, the Lawnmower Hospital in Toro make it a breeze. Handle your yard with an easy maneuvering personal pace Toro walk-behind mower. For commercial and acreage use, hop on a Toro My Ride zero turn with the comfort and performance you deserve. Plus, 0% financing available for up to 36 months. See Toro, the top name in turf, now at lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Allen Olson Auctions presents the annual Rimby Summer Consignment Sale. Online bidding is open right now through June 24th at allenolsonauction.com. Bid on a wide variety of machinery, including tractors, haying and harvest equipment, new and used attachments, trucks and trailers, and construction equipment, plus passenger vehicles, sea cans, cattle handling equipment, mobile homes, buildings, recreational equipment, and over 2,000 miscellaneous lots. For details, call Allen Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit allenolsonauction.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.225, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching. No big surprise here. You look at some other name, Derek Forbort, no surprise. He'll test the market. Teddy Bluger is going to test the market. Low end center iceman, not going to go back to Vancouver. We hear Kapanen in Edmonton. Adam Henrique, as I've said, from the end of the season is not coming back. Jack Roslovic is unlikely to return in Edmonton. And we'll see. The goalies are maybe the hardest ones to look at. Like Sergei Bobrovsky is going to go to market. Who's going to give him the money? Show me the money. That's what he's screaming right now. Who is going to sign Bobrovsky for the money? He's won 2 cups in the last 3 years. Now, this past year, it wasn't very good. But Florida really wasn't great. But Bobrovsky wasn't nearly as good as Tarasov behind the exact same team. So we'll discuss it. Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, NHL.com, joins us as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And today, June 22nd, did you know that the Collingwood McDonald's, which has been closed now, is reopening tomorrow? For all of you in the Collingwood area, there you go. Fresh face, fresh look. Check it out at McDonald's. It's Kevin Woodley joins us. Woodley, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. I apologize for the lack of video today, but everybody keeps telling me I have a face for radio, so we'll just keep it on this end.
I don't know if you're that. I don't know if you're that good looking,
traveling.
Woodley. I don't know if you're that good looking. We'll see. You got to be really
There you
good
go.
looking
There you go.
Okay. We've talked about it. What's your Florida and Bobrovsky just seemed like it wasn't going to happen, and people are like, "Geez, he's asking this much money." I'm like, yeah, he's been asking this much money for a while, and I get it because in Florida, everybody got paid until they're older. I know I always chuckle. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, the tax-free state. I'm like, yeah, but Florida's not getting discount dollars. Bob went there 8 years ago at $10 million. No goalie gets $10 million now other than Shesterkin. So if you look at Bobrovsky and you look at his style, what team style is a good fit for Bobrovsky's game?
Oh, that's a good question. A team that is going to win enough games, regardless of goaltending in the regular season, to get comfortably into the playoffs without having to lean on him too heavily. And I know that's not as specific in terms of strengths and weaknesses from a puck stopping perspective, like slot line plays or screens or anything like that. But here's the reality. It wasn't just last year where Bob was significantly outplayed by his backup. Like, you can go back to the year that they first went to the Cup final without winning, lost to Vegas. Like people forget, like Alex Lyon started those playoffs. Yeah. You can look at the years where they won cups. Like, his backup outplayed him. Anthony Stolarz was one of them. Like, outplayed him in the regular season during those years. Tarasov again this year. Like, 82nd out of 90 plus goalies in adjusted save percentage this past regular season. So you sort of need to not need him come regular season to be exceptional, and then you're looking for him to get on a heater and make big saves come playoff time. Like it's an oversimplification, and it doesn't mean it's going to be that same way for him regardless of where he goes, but that's the reality of what he's been for the past number of years. So counting on him or expecting him to be anything different, and that's why, like, I know everyone's saying he's going to market, but we heard, like, didn't we just do this last year with Ekblad and with Marchand and with everybody else? Like, to me, I think it might be tougher to find a fit for him that he's comfortable with. If you take a look at who needs it, who needs that type of goaltending, like, it's not necessarily a real long list. Would he be comfortable in Carolina? Do they have any needs? Are they going to re-sign Frederik Andersen? Even if they don't, are they comfortable just rolling Bussy and Kochetkov? Because there's a team where, again, not a lot of quantity, so you wouldn't have to overuse them, but the big moments, the tough saves, the high danger stuff. We talked about Brendan Bussy in the Stanley Cup Finals. 40% of the shots he faced in the Stanley Cup Final were high danger. Like, those are the momentum-changing saves that have built Bob's legacy over the past 3 years in Florida. And they don't outdo some of the bad goals in the regular season enough, but in the playoffs, they're what matters. So to me, like, I still feel like they're going to find a way to make this work, especially because the other guy might be the most attractive goalie to hit the market in unrestricted free agency.
Yeah.
And that's Daniel Tarasov.
Right.
But he comes, if you're Florida and you're win now, for all the upside you see in Tarasov, and you saw that when you signed him and you got it for 2/3 of a season, he did struggle down the stretch when the starts piled up, when he played more than he had in the past. You haven't seen him in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and whether you get more or less out of him when the pressure mounts. So there's still questions there that he doesn't answer that Bob does. So in terms of just going the other way, re-signing Tarasov, letting Bob walk, there's risk there for a team that is so all in right now, especially after the Tkachuk move the other day. So to me, like, I know I haven't answered a ton of your questions, Jason, but I feel like he's almost the first domino that has to fall before everything else has a chance to fall into place on July 1st. And I feel like because it's the Panthers, despite all the rumblings out there, 9 days ahead of July 1st, I'm still not so sure it doesn't happen.
Okay. Connor Hellebuyck. That's the rumor of, maybe he's going to want to go. Maybe the Jets, I don't think the Jets want to trade him, but maybe he wants to be traded. It seems to be the new trend right now. If you look at Hellebuyck, Now, when you talk to slot line plays and off the rush, is there certain areas of his game in Hellebuck specific that you say, hey, because if we sign Connor Hellebuck, because we saw it in the playoffs, every goalie, even the great goalies, can be susceptible to getting lit up if they're getting lit up from certain areas. Now, I would argue he played as much of a role in that as the Jets' defensive structure did in front of him. It wasn't just the structure. I thought there were some goals that he would have liked back. But is there an area of, say, okay, we've got to be a really good team off the rush, or we got to be a good team below slot line plays? Like, what is it where you look at Hellebuck's game where you at least have to pause to say, would this be a fit with how we play?
Everything is relative when it comes. Well, everything's relative for goalies. Like, so when we talk about weaknesses with Connor Hellebuck, we're talking about a 3-time Vezina Trophy winner and a Hart Trophy winner. Like, it's relative. Like, for him, being league average at something is a relative weakness because of how good he is at everything else. So just being slightly above average at slot line plays, and actually his numbers have gotten better there in recent years, but slot line plays off the rush and screens and traffic and sort of the chaos type goals, relative to how well he does everything else, those are his relative weaknesses. And so is he going to, say, go into Carolina, have the same level of success where we see, like, his Hart and Vezina Trophy years, his expected save percentage was over 900. One of, I think, 2 or 3 goalies in the entire league to be above 900 that year. Calvin Pickard was one of the other 2 years ago. We talked about Freddie Anderson. His expected save percentage was 868 this year. Like, that's a massive difference between Hellebuck at his best and what Freddie Anderson faced this year. So, and I bring up Carolina because that's obviously an extreme, but like, Jason, how many teams, we keep hearing about all these teams that, these American players playing in Canada want to go to, and it's a pretty short list. Like, how many of them need a goaltender and how many of them would be a fit? I look at Carolina and they're actually kind of going the other way, not spending a goaltending, having 3 options versus loading up on one. And I have questions about whether that would be, he would adjust. He's a brilliant play reader. He would adjust, but how do the Carolina goalies stay engaged? Will they get out and they handle the puck? Not a strength, right? Like, there are things in his game that I'm not sure would fit perfectly with Carolina, or maybe even not fit well with Carolina. And that's a big risk to take. Or some of the other teams, like team players, they want to go to New York? Well, the Rangers got Shesterkin. The Islanders, they've got Sorokin. And the Devils, despite rumors that they're looking to trade him, you'd have to take Jacob Markstrom back. Florida's the one that fits, but do they have assets left after the trades they made this week? Are they robbing Peter to pay Paul? Are they letting Bob walk? Minnesota's got 2 good goalies. So I'm not entirely sure I see the fits here, unless it's like a Minnesota deal where you're bringing a goalie back and it's part of it. And the other part too is if you're Winnipeg, despite he's your best player and all these trophies he's won, the market for goaltending is not the same. Like, I don't know that he's getting a Brady Tkachuk return. I could be wrong on that just because he's that good. He is one of the few guys that sort of separates himself, but goaltending's never commanded the same market, in part because of a lot of the volatility and uncertainty. Like, his relationship with Wade Flaherty and the way they work together, I'm not pretending Wade's bigger than Connor Hellebuck, but it's a massive part of everything that Hellebuck does. Does he go with him? Like, there's a lot more factors than there is in acquiring Brady Tkachuk, and there's a lot less places to hide, and you're not playing every game, and I just don't see the return being as big. So I could be eating all of these words by Friday ahead of the first round of the draft, and we've had another blockbuster, but that's another one where I'm not so sure this is happening.
Yeah. Okay. That is totally fair. You mentioned Minnesota, but the injury is Minnesota really only has 1 goalie now for probably at least the first few months of the season, right? So I think.
So is that news that broke today, or have I been on an island?
Well, no, that happened, that was announced a while back, right? Gustafsson was having surgery.
I missed that, so my apologies. And it was hip surgery, I assume then.
Yes, off-season hip surgery. Yeah, that happened on May 20th, give or take.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at the first month of the season. I mean, I remember Tim Thomas at age 36 or 37 being back for training camp for the start of the next season. So it depends on each guy. But yeah, you're probably looking at October, maybe early November.
Yeah, but my point is, like, I agree with you that Minnesota probably, but now it just puts it on pause because if you're Bill Guerin, there's no, no team's going to take Gustafsson at this point because you want to see how he comes back, right?
Right.
And then so B, you sure as heck aren't trading your young goalie and then go with two other guys till Gustafsson gets hurt. So I agree with you. Eventually that trade will happen, but I just think right now Minnesota's off the goalie market.
Right. And obviously there's like 20 some odd other American teams he could go to. But I just mean the names that we keep hearing, the ones that are like in win now mode or, would appear to be a destination for some of these goaltenders. I mean, hey, listen, like I didn't mention Detroit. And for all the questions around it, like that's home for Connor Hellebuyck. He'll be the first to tell you that's where he became a hockey guy and like watching Detroit Red Wings games. Going to those games. So maybe that is something where as much as Larkin's trying to get out, it might be a space where he might like to go. At the end of the day, I don't know that there's any truth to these rumors, but beyond people just attaching, a postseason frustration comment to relationships with other guys and this new trend. I don't know if there's any fire around this smoke. When I look at the teams that are most commonly associated with these moves, and largely this is off the Tkachuk move on the weekend and the four that he had opened himself up to, even if it ultimately ended up being he only wanted to go to Florida. I'm not seeing a bunch of teams that are like either can make this work. And again, maybe the Panthers will surprise us, or from an asset perspective or a cap space, or have the need for a goaltender.
Now, speaking of goalies, Kev, I got to get your thoughts. Pekka Rinne and Carey Price, two goalies in one Hall of Fame class.
Carey Price should have been in the Hall of Fame. Did we have a goalie last year?
No.
Carey Price should have been a first ballot last year. And I know people push back because of the injuries and how little he played. And he ultimately didn't win a cup, but he won Olympic gold medal. To me, Carey Price we could have had one in each, and Carey Price should have been in the first. That's how I see this.
Well, you could only have four guys, and it was Chara, Thornton, Keith, and McGillney last year.
Elmo had waited long enough. As much as I thought he should have been in before, you could have had him this year. Easy for me to sit here and pick nits. The real nit I want to pick is the fact that once again we've got a Hall of Fame class without a goalie coach. Just that frustrates me a little bit.
Okay.
There's some all-timers starting to pile up in the retirement list and getting older. And the longer they wait before and maybe they never will. Maybe the attitude that I was told from one voter, this is more than 5 years ago, maybe it's persisted, but the idea that goalie coaches are just assistant coaches and we don't put assistant coaches in the Hall of Fame. I would argue there are goalie coaches, Francois Allaire, Benoit Allaire is now retired. Mitch Korn turned 69 in the summer and is winding down his career. These are guys who, literally changed the game. Francois, quite literally, not just the goaltending, but how teams attack goaltending, how we have to think about goaltending, a lot of the analytics in terms of thinking about, shots along the ice and how we sort of consider hockey and prepare and evolve hockey started, you could argue, with Francois Allaire, and yet he's not in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Price to me could have been in last year, so absolutely no brainer this year. And I'm a huge Pekka Rinne fan. I haven't sort of put the numbers together and compare them to other guys. I think that Cujo and Osgood, I know others have passed them on the all-time wins list in recent years, but two guys who, for a long time were top 10 win goalies. I thought they should have had a shot to be in there. So I'm a big goalie guy in the Hall of Fame. I think we need more. I look forward to watching Carey and Pekka go in. I really wish we could start having a conversation about goalie coaches being a part of this as well. You take a look at a guy take a look at Korn and the number of goalies, including Pekka Rinne, whose careers seventh round pick to Hockey Hall of Fame. I think a lot of that you can tie to his evolution under Mitch Korn. You take a look at the amount of coaches that are in the league who started with Mitch Korn at all kinds of different levels. And then Benoit Allaire, who just retired from the New York Rangers after a couple seasons as the director of goaltending. Like, we're still seeing Benoit Laire's impact on the game.
Yeah.
When you talk about depth management, like, you know, we talk about Sean Burke and the work he does with the goalies there. I mean, he resurrected Sean Burke's career, and the way Sean Burke coaches is now largely informed by Benoit Laire. Mackenzie Skapski down the road in Calgary, the American Hockey League coach who helped Dustin Wolf take the step to the level he's at now, and help Devin Cooley go from a guy who was clear in waivers to a guy several teams have inquired about this summer after a breakout year. A lot of what he has sort of built is on the backs of Benoit Laire philosophy. So there's guys that I don't know why that conversation isn't happening. Obviously, the Hall doesn't discuss these things. But as we continue to pile up the years, and the years go on, we're only going to have more. So if you ever do decide to see reason and open the door to goalie coaches, you're going to end up with a long list that are overdue. And I just think it would be better to start sooner than later. With all due respect to some who have gone in the past couple of years and in the builder category, I honestly, if you stack their accomplishments next to Allaire's, it's hard to even argue they're comparable, other than the level at which they were involved in a team, whether it's GM versus goalie coach. But much like a lot of head coaches, you know, that win the Jack Adams every year, right? Like, well, we had Jack Adams this year, John Cooper, Andre Vasilevsky as a trophy finalist. Show me a good coach, I'll show you a good goaltender. Show me a good organization, I'll show you a good goaltending coach.
Kev, I love it. Love the passion, buddy. We appreciate it. We will chat goalies. So your homework for the week next week is because of course the draft is on Friday, and then we'll know which goalies got drafted, and then we'll kind of go over some of them. I know that some of their stats are tough to get, but I know you'll find some. So we'll do a little goalie draft next week.
That sounds good. I'll have, honestly, I'm so far behind on draft level prospects, but by next week they'll have been picked and I'll be able to dig into the ones that matter the most a little bit more, as opposed to, I got to say, a little quick shout out to all the prospect people that do this work. Incredible. Like, I can barely keep up with the NHL and the far-reaching analysis that these people have, the Corey Promans of the world, and with different Cam Robinsons and all these guys. Like, I tip my hat to the work they do. So this is a big week for them, and I hope it goes really well. I'll just come and cherry pick at the end with the guys that actually get picked.
Awesome. Okay, buddy. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
It's Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com. Big trade in the National Hockey League. We'll discuss it next. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
On a Monday afternoon, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger. Hope you are having a good day. Well, at least when I came in, the rain had stopped. Oh my goodness! Hopefully, like no mas. Even the most staunch lover of the rain is like, okay, let's get a few dry days. Right now, it is gets to the point where it's now you got flooding potentials and everything else. So hopefully, for those of you out there, as somebody who grew up with the unfortunate part of having a flooded basement a few times, the worst. I really hope that did not happen to you over the weekend. It's irritating. It's frustrating. You get the shop back out. You got the fans going, everything. Your carpet's ruined and lots of other things. You got some boxes put away. So I hope that that was not you, because it's no fun at all. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where I want you to take action on your savings. You've been thinking about it? Waiting? Well, don't wait any longer. Go to actionelectrical.net, and they can walk you through, tell you all how to ensure that you're getting your max savings on solar for your commercial building. That's actionelectrical.net. And yesterday, a big trade in the National Hockey League as the Florida Panthers acquire Brady Tkachuk in exchange for the 9th and 25th overall picks in the upcoming draft on Friday, another first rounder in 2029, and a second rounder in 2030. George Richards from Florida Hockey Now joins us. And George, so does this trade in your eyes, when I look at the salary cap and everything, does this mean Bobrovsky's not coming back to Florida?
I don't know. I mean, it may be that this means Bob is coming back. The Panthers have about $7 million under the cap. They're going to make some moves to clear more space, but you've got to think that the Panthers are going to spend $5 or $6 million on a starting goalie, one way or another. Whether it's Bobrovsky or maybe a Jordan Binnington. I think Connor Halley is now out because what does Florida have to trade to a team that really doesn't need to trade their goalie? But we'll see. But I do think that Bill Zito knows what the direction is, and I think the decision's probably already been made one way or another. Now, we don't know what that is, but I would think that the decision's already been made. He knows where things stand on both fronts, and you don't make a move like they made yesterday without knowing what's next.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You mentioned, because you're right, they don't have any draft picks to trade. I don't know. I'm not sure Winnipeg would want it. Like, you look at their roster, they got a lot of really good forwards. Like, if I'm Winnipeg, I'm trading Hellebuyck. I'm going to want Lundell, and I don't know. Like, would Florida do that?
No, I don't think. I mean, I had him as one of the main asks in a potential trade for Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
But I know, and you look at the numbers, and Larkin has better numbers offensively than an Anton Lundell, but I know what Anton Lundell means to the Panthers. He's got a great contract. He's 24 years old. All he's done here is win. He just won gold with Sasha Barkov at Worlds. He's got 2 Stanley Cup championships. Regardless, he's one of the top defensive forwards on the team, and that's saying a lot when you've got Sasha Barkov and Sam Reinhart on the same team. So I would think that that's a no, but that would probably be a piece that would have to make that work, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah, for sure, right? So I just don't see the Panthers, getting. I mean, Paul Maurice has said, Anton Lundell is the future captain of this team, a team with Sasha Barkov on it. So, I mean, there's just too much high praise for this guy within the organization to see him move on, especially, again, with the contract that he's got.
What about Tarasov?
They like Tarasov. They gave him the starting role for the final couple weeks. He had a strong enough training camp that he held off Brandon Busey, who we saw move on to bigger and better things in Raleigh, North Carolina with the Hurricanes. So they really liked Tarasov. I think that was a good move at the time to bring him in from Columbus. And I think it was a good move to keep him because he was a very good backup to Sergei Bobrovsky, and he played well at times. Now, there were times where his numbers didn't look very good, but I think that was, as reflective of the team in front of him as anything else. I think they really like him. I don't think that the Panthers would run back a Bobrovsky Tarasov. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tarasov does come back. But we'll just have to wait and see. He's a free agent as well.
Yeah, so they wouldn't run him as their starter and bring someone else in and be like a 1A, 1B?
No, I don't know about that, but okay. I could see him. I just don't see them running back the same goalie combination next year. That's all.
Yeah, okay. I like it. Now looking at the Tkachuk trade, they gave up a lot. 3 first rounders. Obviously, they feel they're in win now mode here. What do you just make of that deal itself?
Well, I think Ottawa did a good job. We heard today that there was a trade request from Brady Tkachuk, and the only place he would go was Florida. So Ottawa was definitely, in a spot where they had no leverage. They're able to get the number 9 and the number 25 overall this year. So they'll get something tangible out of that number 9 pick right now. They're probably going to get a pretty good player at 9. 25, a bit of a crapshoot, and we certainly don't know what's going to happen, in 2029. I just, I think for Ottawa, I'm sure they would have liked an NHL player in return. But maybe this number 9 turns into an NHL player in the next couple years, or, who knows how that's going to work itself out. But, Florida is certainly in win now mode. We saw that last year. Well, we've seen it the last couple years. Florida hasn't had a first-round pick since 2021, and they won't again until 2030, barring a trade where they acquire another one. You see what the Panthers are doing. They've pushed all their chips in for the next 3-4 years. They've got 11 players signed through 2030. You saw it last year again when they signed Bennett, Ekblad, and Marchand, that, everything is geared up for the next 3-4 years, and they expect to be in Stanley Cup contention. They expected to be in Stanley Cup contention this year. Massive injuries just derailed that. But, and they've got some good young kids that they like. They got to see in the final couple weeks of the season. Again, the pressure was off, but they got a very good look at some kids at the NHL level. And, they use their draft picks wisely. Now in 2022, they spent first-round picks on guys they thought were probably going to be rentals in Ben Sherratt and Claude Giroux. Other than that, it's been for guys with term, guys who they think are going to stay here. Sam Reinhart they got him for a first-round pick. Seth Jones, Brad Marchand was a second that turned into a first. So they're building for this next couple of years. What will this team look like in 2031? I don't know. They probably have a spreadsheet that tells them what they think it will look like, but it won't be this probably.
What about Samaskowicz? Goes to Seattle. Obviously, that was kind of like, step one of the trade to get Brady Tkachuk. So they also gave up him and those picks. What do you make of Samaskowicz, and, what do you think his potential is? Is it hard to know because he was so far down the depth chart, or was he, even with the injuries, he never really seemed to be able to move up the depth chart?
He did. Well, he was able to. He played top 6 a lot. And I think that was one of the, where do you play him now? And I think that was one of the things that Florida, was, you have to play him in the top 6 because he's a top 6 talent. 2 years ago, he started on the 4th line and really improved his defensive game, learning that style of hockey, and before going back up to the 2nd line. I think when the Panthers opened the playoffs in 2025, he was on the 2nd line with Tkachuk and Bennett, and then kind of fell down the ranks. But no, Mackie Samaskowicz is a good, quick, he's a fast skater. He's learned a lot. He had a terrific collegiate career at the University of Michigan. He is a good player, a good locker room presence. The Seattle Kraken got themselves a very good young player in Mackie Samaskowicz. I just don't think that there was much room here, especially, last year the Panthers, after signing those big 3 free agents, the last part of business last year was getting Mackie an RFA deal, and he got the bare minimum because that's all Florida could afford. He's due a contract. He's got arbitration rights now. So he's going to at least double his salary, maybe get a little bit more, and the Panthers just can't afford to give him that. So in getting a first-round pick for Mackie, basically the pick that they picked him with in 2021, I think he was 23 or 24, whatever. He was in the mid-20s when they drafted him. They got the return on their investment. He got a Stanley Cup. His name's on the cup. And now he gets a new start in Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be very happy with him.
Awesome, George. We appreciate it. Give me your gut feel. Bobrovsky, test the market or stay in Florida?
I think he tests the market. I mean, and I have no idea. I mean, I'm flipping a coin here. I just think if a deal was going to get done, would have been done. I mean, they've been talking about this since the trade deadline. Bobrovsky could have signed an extension a year ago, and, nothing has happened. So, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in the back rooms with Bob's camp and the Panthers. It's going to be interesting to see here in the next couple days.
Will be fun. Awesome. Thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Good talking to you.
There you go. That's George Richards joining us from Florida. So I know we got a lot of text people hey, what about Bobrovsky at Edmonton? Well, Kevin Woodley's assessment, I'm like, Bobrovsky's last few regular seasons have not been good. Playoffs, no doubt. Really solid in 24 and 25. If he really wants 5 or 6 years, I just can't see it. Goalie's a hard position. And, your body, especially the way he moves, I don't know. I would let someone else take a 5-year risk on Bobrovsky if I was a GM. If I get a 2-year deal, I'd consider it. But I'm not going 5 years on Bobrovsky. No chance. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Go to hiregood.ca. Stable jobs create stable lives. Hire Good.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Connor Murphy's time with the Oilers will continue as the team is extending the defenseman on a 5-year, $20.4 million deal. It's an AAV of $4.1 million. The signing comes a day after the Oilers signed forward Jason Dickinson to a 5-year, $20 million deal. The Hockey Hall of Fame announced a class of 2026 with 5 players and 1 builder receiving the honor. Patrice Bergeron, Carey Price, Beth Rene, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley will enter as players, with Brian Burke entering as a builder. At the World Cup earlier today, Lionel Messi had 2 for Argentina. They defeat Austria 2-0. With that, Messi now has 5 goals on the tournament. Right now, it's early Iraq and France scoreless. Later today, we've got Senegal and Norway from New Jersey. Then at 9 o'clock tonight from Santa Clara Stadium, Algeria and Jordan. Major League Baseball today, the Jays are in action taking on the Astros. First pitch 5:07. We'll join that game in progress following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. Elsewhere, you got the Yankees, Tigers, Rays host the Royals, Phillies get the Nationals, White Sox, Guardians, Dodgers in Minnesota, Angels host the Orioles, and the Braves taking on the Padres. And from the association, free agent Trae Young intends to sign a 4-year, approximately $212 million deal to stay with the Wizards with a player option in year 4. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be looking at the stats of the day and hear from members of the Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This is the Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle-doodle.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Ford. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisqford.ca. Nisq Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Need equipment on the job fast? Japa Equipment Rentals in Atchison has you covered. Excavators, wheel loaders, compaction equipment, and more backed by expert service. Visit japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Continuing on Monday afternoon, welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And of course, you have Lotto Max tomorrow, $30 million and 30 prizes of $100,000. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts coming in. Now we're going to hear from Mr. Dickinson and Mr. Murphy coming up a little bit. Austin Mack is going to join us, the undefeated Edmonton Elks. Always good to see from them. A few texts to get to. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. Now, hey guys, what do you feel about the nurse trade? When's it happening? Steve? Well, I can't say for sure when it's happening, but I can tell you that I think they'd like it to be done in the next 8 days. You would like that deal done before free agency begins. Just on the off chance that, you know what, you find out what you have in return. Are they getting a D-man? Or are you getting what are you getting? Then you'll know, okay, is there another piece here that we have to acquire in free agency? Plus, then, you know, it's going to create some cap space, I would think. I don't think it's going to be a move $9 million out and bring $9 million back in. I guess it's possible, but I wouldn't think that was going to be the case. So we'll see. Hey, Greg's, my offseason priorities were number one, re-sign Dickinson, number two, re-sign Murphy, and then sign one of Malmsteen or Stenlund. One or two are done. Do you think they can get one of the other two? Well, I've been on Beck Mounts. I remember at the deadline of 25, I said, that's the guy I would go get. And people look at his numbers and and I'm like, guys, he's exactly what the Oilers needed. Physical, good skater, bottom six guy, can kill penalties, chip in a little bit of offense. Not a lot, a little bit. I would still be interested in Beck Malmsteen for sure. I had Stenlund. If you bring in Stenlund, I know people are like, yeah, but what does that mean for Josh Szymanski? Well, it means Josh Szymanski, I don't know if he's as good as Stenlund. To be honest, like, Kevin Stenlund, the last 2 seasons, when I look at specific roles that the Oilers need, they need a right shot center who can take defensive zone faceoffs on the penalty kill or other. Because if you look, lots of the faceoffs in the Oilers defensive zone, because most centers are left shots, so they like to go on their strong side in the offensive zone, which would be to the right of the goalie. And if you're a lefty, well, then now you're on your weak side. So you need a right shot there. Kevin Stenlund took 600 and I think it was 38 defensive zone faceoffs last year. The Oilers' leader was like at 310. Now, Henrique missed some games, so that plays a factor in it. But they just didn't have a guy on that because they had all lefties, right? Dickinson's back. He's a lefty. I think they need a righty. Now, do they need it in free agency? No, but I think if it's not there, then it has to be before the deadline. I just think it's something that could help. And it's not a guy can win faceoffs, but then he's a pylon the rest of the time. Well, no, that's not good. But Stenlund's a pretty good defensive player. He's also won a cup with Florida. And remember that? He was excellent. The Oilers, he was dominating in the Stanley Cup final. I vividly remember it. Now, he's been in Utah for 2 years, and he had a little bit of a down year this year. I think you might be able to get him on a decent deal right now because I view him as like a higher-end fourth-line center. I don't think he's good enough to be a third-line center, but, man, if he's a fourth-line center, you got really good center depth. He could moonlight if he got some injuries and everybody has to move up for 10 or 15 games. You can do that. But I'd be all over Stenlund. And if I had to pick between him and Malmstein, I would take Stenlund first. Just because he fills something the Oilers haven't had. It's a right shot center. Like Adam Henrique, I know he did very well on that side. And they missed him for sure in the playoffs. But I'd still like a righty. Because you know what I can do then? I can have my righty and my lefty on the ice sometimes if I want. And be like, hey, no problem. You guys pick which either side. I got both. I'm good. And I think that can help you at key moments, right? Like the Oilers are very close. They're a cup contender. They're right in the window. Even though I know this year they went on the first round, I still view Edmonton as a good team. One of the top 8 teams in the league, which to me puts you in a cup contender. And so then it's just the small little differences that can separate you and where you can, like, look at what Jordan Staal just did in the playoffs for Carolina. Like, he dominated the faceoff circle. And then a lot of his other line numbers dominated with it. Obviously, he had the offensive series of his life in the Stanley Cup final. But there's no surprise to me that the penalty kill was that great because the guy was winning like almost 70% of his faceoffs, for goodness sakes. Makes a big difference. So I'm all over Malmstein. I liked him a few years ago, so I would do it again for sure. Hey, Gregor, what do you think will be the top ways that Babcock can improve the team other than simply reducing goals against? Cody. It's a good question. Well, it's going to start, it's the penalty kill. That's been a consistent problem here. Now, they had an unreal run in 24, right? Like they were unreal in the power play in the playoffs, and it was still pretty good in the 69 games under Knobloch that year. And they got on a run. They had a boatload of confidence. They had a good system, and the players, they kind of played together lots. They knew what they were doing. So I think, to me, they've got to find a little better foundation on the penalty kill. That would be number one. Number two, I will argue, I want Draisaitl and McDavid centering their own lines for as long as I can. You want to do the odd time, end of period? Sure. Maybe if one of them is freakishly in a slump, maybe I would put them together. But I'm not doing it in the first period when I'm down 1-0. And I don't want to start the game that way. I just think you play into the hands, because the Oilers really don't have a second line center. I don't think Nugent Hopkins second line center full time. Can he do it for a game or two? Sure. But not full time. So that's why, and Dickinson's not a second line center. So why wouldn't I want to have McDavid or Draisaitl on the ice for more minutes of the game? So when they're separated, that's what happens. And you know what? Last year, when they were together, they weren't even that good. That's the other, you're coming off a season where they simply weren't that good together 5-on-5. Right? Like the numbers don't lie. They were well below what they'd been in previous seasons. So I don't see the need why you would have to do it. Right? Like, look in the playoffs in 6 games together. When they played 33 minutes on the same line, they got outscored 3-1. When Draisaitl played away from McDavid for 73 minutes, he outscored the opponent 7-3. And here's a fun stat people probably don't know. The Oilers at 5-on-5 in the playoffs without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice outscored the Ducks 7-4. But Draisaitl, McDavid together outscored 3-1. McDavid without Draisaitl outscored 4-2. And then let's go to regular season because playoffs is obviously a small sample size. But if you look at last year in the regular season, together, they outscored teams 18-16, decent. Draisaitl in 723 minutes without McDavid was outscored him 44-34. And McDavid without Draisaitl played 1,000 minutes. He was +5. So they were actually better separate than they were together. Now, they only played 317 minutes together, which is nice because, honestly, I think less is more for this team. So that's, to me, what the coach should be doing. I'm coming in with a plan, and the plan says those two are on their own lines for the majority of the time. I get it if you want to do it the odd shift after penalty kill. I actually don't mind. I like that idea, but I'm not doing it all the time. So, hey, Gregor, with the old guys locked up, do the Oilers have to add some youth? Jeremy from the Art of Cake. Well, the Oilers have youth. Podkolzin, Savoy. You're adding Isaac Howard probably to the roster. Maybe Josh Szymanski, depending on what happens in free agency. He's there. Ty Emerson isn't old. Like the Oilers are in a win now thing. You can have some young guys, but you don't need to just bring in youth for the sake of it. Right now, I also forgot Colton Dock. He's another young guy. So I think they've got enough youth to sprinkle in around it. But you're winning. It's not a surprise that the winning teams usually have a little bit more experience. Just you can sprinkle in some young guys, yes. And Matty Savoy could be that guy. Maybe Ike Howard can be that guy. Awesome. But you don't need much more. Like Carolina had 2 guys. Right? And then they had Nikishin on the black end. Right? It's a pretty special player. But like Bouchard isn't old, like by NHL standards by any stretch, but he's elite. What is he, 26 now? He might be 26. So, but he's a really good player. So no, I think like Edmonton doesn't have much more. Like who else do they have in the organization who's young? Who I think is ready to play. Not many. So I could see in the Darnell Nurse trade that they one of the pieces would be younger. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. I do want to get to one answer from Jason Dickinson here. Cons? Because do we got that ready? Yeah. So we'll get the one from Dickinson ready because I really liked his response and how he broke it down because Dickinson, he had what you would call an outlier year when he scored the 22 goals. Because most other years, he's like a 7-9 goal scorer. But I did ask him, like, because you would like your third line center to bring a little bit more offense. Not a ton. I think people would be surprised. I went through last season, all the forwards in the NHL, and I looked at, like, what's realistic, and I used 5-on-5 production because that's where the majority game is. Most bottom 6 guys aren't getting power play time. All right, so if you look at it, and I say, okay, what are teams like forwards who and these are guys who played at least 40 games. And I look at their point production at 5-on-5. There was 281 forwards who had at least 18 points 5-on-5, which equals out to like 8.8 players per game. And if I would have went with 17 points, it would expand too much. Now it'd be like, almost 10 players. So I didn't want to do that. So I just stuck it closer to 9. Dickinson has done that 5 times in his career. So he can be a third line productive player. I don't have much doubt of that. Now, goal scoring, a little bit different. Now, obviously a 22 goal scorer, that's a top 6 forward in today's NHL, especially because 19 of his goals were at 5-on-5, for goodness sakes, that year. But I asked him, is there a way to balance out keeping his defensive mindset by maybe sprinkling in a little bit more offense like he did in 2024?
Obviously that was an explosive year for me for scoring, but I have the ability to score. I have the ability to create offense. what went right, what went wrong in other years is it's hard to pinpoint. I like to kind of say I fill the gaps in my line. I like to play where my line is lacking. So that year I needed to be the shooter. I knew on my line, like if I got the puck, I was taking it to the net and I was shooting. Whereas other years, I filled the gap in forechecking. I was more of the first man on the pressure, or I was more of a passer, let's say, so it's hard for me to say like one thing went right. I focused obviously much more on shooting the puck that year, but that's because that's what my line needed me to do. So I like to think of my line as a cohesive unit when we score together, because it's rarely done by one person on our line. Typically who I've played with, it's rarely done by one guy. So I try to fill the gaps that are needed, and I try to recognize what my line needs most to optimize our ice time.
I like that response. All right. So I want to feel where, so part of that is though, you kind of get to know who you play with. So now injuries are a factor. Obviously when your team's a little bit more consistent, it's easier to keep your lines consistent. So we'll see. We'll take a quick break. When we return, winning, baby. Winning can cure a lot of things. How much confidence can it bring a team? And how much does it mean when you face your former team? Like, how much more invested are you? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your best. Edmonton's home to sports is Sports 1440. Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place in Ice District.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Seven. Oh, what a goal by Mbappe. If you're a fan of the France, well, not the France, just France. Nice goal, man. He is pretty talented. Him and Messi scored his fourth of the tournament earlier today. So
And fifth.
he scored twice.
Scored twice.
So he's
yeah.
up to 18 now. So he's
Pretty good.
all-time leader. Mbappe's at 15. And Mbappe's going to play in another World Cup, so he's going to have a chance to catch him. So that'll be it. Might be a short-lived reign at the top for Messi and most goals at the World Cup, but still really impressive.
Missed a penalty, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Not
a
good
rarity.
one. Yeah, it was a little slow dribbler to the right. Not too tough.
Was he fan on it?
I don't think so. Just could have had back-to-back addies for World
Back-to-back
Cup.
addies. That is. I wonder how often he misses a penalty. It can't be that often. Somebody out there will know that stat, but it would seem not very often. Right now, you know what's not often? Elks losing, as in never. It's a new season, baby, and the Elks are one of only two teams left undefeated in the CFL. As we get to our Green Gold Report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. No payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Make sure it's up to date. LegacyHeating.ca. And the Elks, fresh off a thrilling overtime victory over the Montreal Alouettes on a wet and soggy Saturday afternoon, 32-29, as Cody Fajardo runs in a 6-yard touchdown for the win. And in that game, Austin Mack, he's on pace to get 18 touchdowns. Not bad. He's had a touchdown reception in each of the two victories for the Green and Gold. Their leading receiver and former member of the Alouettes joins us now. Austin, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Jason? I'm blessed, man. How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm good. The broadcast was talking about how you're like, no, this game means, and I like it when guys are honest. Don't give me oh no, it's just another game. It's not just another game when you play your former team. How different was it for you? Like, did you have to calm yourself down, or were you almost too amped up? How was it?
Yeah, I've had this one circled for quite a while, ever since I signed, honestly, in that schedule drop, Jason. So, even from the start of the week, I was fired up all week, and even Killam has been saying, hey, just let the game come to you. And more than anything, when I got out there, that it came back to normal. After a couple hits, it was all pretty normal, but really just wanted to make sure I was calm, not too over emotional, and just made sure when the plays came to me, made those plays.
It has not been an ideal start weather-wise for your team. You guys are used to playing in the rain, but as a receiver, what's the biggest challenge? I know I see a lot of guys with gloves on, and some don't wear them, but what's the hardest part about the slippery ball? What do you have to do different to ensure you don't drop it?
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. You got all these guys throwing for 400, almost 500 yards, and we're over here in this back-to-back rain. We change gloves. So for myself, there's a different type of glove. Typically, it's like a nice slick, right? How the usual gloves are. We use these leather gloves that when you get them wet, it actually has a really good grip on the football. All right, so those ones I switched to and do pretty good in them in the rain. At the end of the day, it's really more of an emphasis of seeing the ball all the way through. making sure that you're strong hands through it. And then when you get the ball to your body, you're soaking wet. So now you got to make sure that, you're taking care of the ball once you're trying to, advance the ball and yak it up, right? You can't give up any turnovers. So I'd say those are the two biggest things, right? And obviously the game plan kind of changes and shifts with that as well.
And with the rain, I think it does limit some of the play calling. Guys maybe aren't as quick coming out of breaks as you normally would be. So do you really have a sense of what your offense is capable of? Because maybe you've been limited in some of the stuff that you really want to call at times.
No, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's football. You gotta play in anything, whatever you're getting, and to see what we've been able to do. It hasn't been perfect, right? Offensively, there's things we always know that we can get a lot better in, and that was the first and the fourth quarter. The second and the third quarter, that's the double E standard, and that's what we want to make sure that we can start doing for 4 quarters and 60 minutes throughout a game. We're a new offense. We're building that continuity, and we were able to just gut it out and be able to put points up and finish games. That's the biggest thing. And so we're just really trying to take a step forward from that.
Austin Mack joins us, leading receiver for the green and gold, 2 touchdowns in 2 games. One of them, you and Justin Rankin are obviously kind of the 2 main weapons right now early on in the season. Austin, I know you played against him, but now you've had a few games and training camp to see him. What impresses you most about Rankin's game thus far?
Yeah, man, this is one of the greatest players I ever got to play with. I tell him all the time. I've been blessed to play with 2 other guys I call exceptional, and those were running backs as well, Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson. And I'll put him in that same category, exceptional. And he's a great guy. I mean, when you talk about a great teammate and then hard worker, he's the first one in, last one in type of guy mentality, and he's all about the team, and that's what we all are in that locker room. There's a lot of great weapons. I can't wait for it to be a dry day for you guys to start seeing who else we got on this team. There's some really good weapons, and we're going to start to see it. That's the great opportunity we have in this offense, man. Coach Jordan McSimic, his offense is really to have 3,000-yard receivers and 1,000-yard rusher. Right, that's the type of offense this is. So if we can really max that out and execute at a high level, and stay on the football field, that's some big things we want to make sure we can correct. So we can see this offense really exploding.
When you've played with exceptional running backs, when you have a guy like that he can make guys miss, as a receiver who's blocking downfield, obviously you want to block well all the time, but when you have a guy like that, is it almost like, man, I got to hold my block like a little bit here, and all of a sudden, boom, he can make it bigger. So the blocking is maybe even more important. Like, is it easier to block when you've got an exceptional guy because the big play capability is so much closer?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, we're always making sure that we get to our guy, because we're the guy that's going to either spring it to a touchdown, or we're the guy that's going to make it a nice big explosive for 15 to 20 yards, where we know we have a guy that can take it 60 every time. So we're the ones that are able to finish that block to make sure that we get it to a touchdown. So we pride ourselves on that as a group, and we're really trying to make sure that we can be there for Rank every time.
Austin Mack joins us. So Austin, kind of take me through the overtime and the play calling, and really one of the key plays of the game though was Bordner as your left tackle getting a hand on the ball. Like, when you think about it, like, obviously that's really the game, because if he doesn't touch that, they touch and it's game over. So
game over.
Were guys like having fun with that with the O lineman in the locker room afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, crazy moment. I think in the moment, I was one of the people jumping on it too. And if you watch the playback, I'm getting like crushed by like 3 people in the pile. And Bordner was able to. So once we got the call and they said it was our way, I mean, it kind of was just washed after that. And now it's like, okay, we got to make sure that we get this ball into the end zone. All right. And I think we just had 2 other plays. I had a slide for I think 15-ish, and then Cody ran in the 16-yard, finishing the play. So really, it was just kind of ultimately just in the moment, right? We got to make sure we hold on to the ball. And that's the biggest key point of that. Hold on to the ball. We're not in that situation, but it was big time that we were there, and to keep it in play for us.
You mentioned the fourth quarter. It wasn't where you wanted. And at times it looked like, the play calling was almost maybe too predictable, too cautious. Well, that obviously changed in overtime. Was there a conversation specific to say, okay, guys, like, we got to get back to attacking?
Yeah, I think that's more of a Coach Jordan question, for myself, and what kind of feedback I get as a receiver is, regardless of the situation that we might have, right? We have a 10-point lead. right? We get a ball here. We want to make sure we can get a first down. We get a first down. Now we can chew out some more clock. Get another first down. All right, go on a drive. And for our offense, we weren't able to do that in that situation. Big time, right? When we had a lead, we want to got a 2 and out. Can't do that, right? So that's one of the things we've been talking about as a group. We have to fix, right, in the fourth quarter. And then finishing the job off. We got the ball back again. Still had a 3-point lead. We just got to get a first down. Got to get another first down, right? We got to roll out this time. We got to be able to stay on the field. Those are some big key points, right? And so is it being aggressive? Regardless, we just got to execute. And if we execute and we're looking back at the film, man, the plays are there. And we have people in the building that can make those plays. We've seen it and we know what the WE standard is. We're going to get there.
Awesome. Mac joins us. Austin, for you, do you have a route as a receiver where you're like, man, we run this route, it's locked in, I'm catching it? Like, so I've talked to other guys, like everybody, you're good at every route, I understand it. But everybody has one that you're like, okay, this is the one I want. And both of your touchdown passes, seemingly similar routes. Is that your go-to?
Yeah, they're kind of similar, two different. I was in the first game, it was a double move. In the second game, I was one-on-one in the slot, but both to the boundary in that back right corner, right? So, at the end of the day, like you said, I can run any route, and that's what I pride myself on, is being a great route runner. Being able to do type of any job. You're going to see me outside. You're going to see me in the slot. You're going to see me to the field. I like to be versatile, be able to be anywhere. But if I had to pick one, put me in the boundary. Let's run a slant.
Okay.
If it's got to have it one-on-one, put me backside. Let's run a slant. I like my odds.
Now, as a receiver, you like one-on-one over double moves? Like, would you say, man, just go mano-mano? I feel, because the one thing I've noticed is you have a really good ability to kind of change your body positioning, even in midair at times, to adjust to the ball. How'd you work on that as a receiver?
Man, I want to thank God for that. More than anything, a lot of it's God-given ability. But something that I did when I was a kid was I played baseball. And I played outfield, and I really learned how to track baseballs. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And sometimes you gotta go over your back shoulder, get hit. Next thing you know, balls come, and so a lot of that was being able to just track a baseball to then translate into a football. And now it's just being able to just, be free, go attack the ball, be aggressive to the ball. And a lot of that is mentality. That's some of the things I just pride myself on. Been around a lot of great players at the receiver position. A lot of my success as a receiver, I like to condone to, Coach Hartline, Brian Hartline. He's now down in UCF. And yeah, man. So a lot of it's just a mentality.
Well, I love the fact that so many sports are transferable, right? Like certain skill sets in another sport. It's fun. It's a different type of pressure. Everything you mentioned, from baseball to football, and you're running back as an outfielder, and you got to over the shoulder catch, which is something that's pretty much a must for any receiver. What type of hitter were you in baseball?
I was like a leadoff guy. Get on base. I was, I wasn't a big slugger. Fun fact: I had dual offers at IU and Purdue for baseball and football. Ended up tearing my shoulder after junior year, so that kind of chalked out it. But yeah, I was like just a get on base guy. Wasn't a switch hitter. Hit a lot of singles, doubles, and triples, but had a few home runs. But just wasn't a big slugger. Was more of a leadoff guy.
Base stealer.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just get on base, steal the bases. In high school, it's super easy, right? I'm a super fast guy, so it's not like I have these, guys now here in college and MLBs, man. They're over here trying. It's tough. It's a tough world.
God! Yeah. So growing up, you played ball, obviously baseball and football.
Yeah.
Who are your teams? Like, who'd you cheer for? Did you have any favorite players in baseball and football growing up?
Oh yeah. Baseball, you're probably gonna think I'm a bandwagon guy. I was a Red Sox fan, so I'm big Manny Ramirez, Dustin Pedroia, the David Ortiz, like that era, rivalry with the Yankees. Like I loved it. That was like my team. And my first ever football game I ever watched was the Super Bowl in was 2004 when the Panthers played the Patriots, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for the Patriots. They won. And I was a young kid, so I was like, I like the Patriots. Next thing you know, they're like the generational teams. But the older I got, it was more about just appreciating players, especially in football. Really admired players and really kind of got away from like favorite team.
Yeah.
Once you kind of got the business side of the NFL. But baseball, man, I'm really loving how baseball is right now, and it's been really fun to watch this year.
It has been good. You come into Edmonton, obviously one of the the big free agent signings on the offense for sure. Obviously, we have Carney on the defensive side. When you come into a new team, Austin, and obviously you're in a playmaker position. Leadership is key, and I know the GM Ed Hervey and Chris Morris, they talked about they wanted to bring in good people. They really wanted to build a better foundation. So, how do you come in and kind of guide your way through to want it to be in a leadership position, but without like stepping on a lot of toes to get there? How do you maneuver that?
Yeah, and it's off of this one saying. It's what have you done for me lately? And regardless of who you are, what big name you are, you haven't done it for the double E yet. And so for me, it's coming in, showing with action that hey, this is what I'm going to do, and you're going to see the result. And started by coming in to rookie camp, coming to quarterback school, being here, being just a guy that's coming in day in every single day, putting in the work, and they're seeing it as well. And at the end of the day, I want to be in a Grey Cup. I've been in 2 and 3 years in my career, which is a blessing. I want to be able to do that here. It's been a long time, and we're actually up for it, right? If you look at it, it's like every 10 years we're in the big one. So it's definitely time, and I feel like those are the type of people that we have in this room. But for me, it's just about seeing where the standard is, understanding what bone means, right? That brotherhood, and what was here with the with the before the Elks was the Eskimos, and I know the fan base loves the Eskimos, and I know they hate the name change, but regardless, it's the same standard, right? The same people, and we're trying to bring that back and trying to implement that in the culture. And for me, it's just being able to adopt that, and then ultimately be that pillar in the receiver room and trying to get the rest of the receivers on that same wave, and it's contagious.
You talk about the young receivers, and you say, hey, you know what? Maybe there's some guys you haven't seen yet because of the conditions. What is it? Who obviously like everybody in the room, but are there any young receivers you're like, hey, Elks fans, you might want to pay attention? Maybe it's Cephas. I don't know if it's Mathis. The different abilities that they possess that you think are going to help this team move forward.
I got 3 names. All right, 2 you obviously guys know, TJ Luther and Josh Cephas. These guys are going to be great players. I know. They're going to go through some ups and downs as rookies, but they're really, really good players. Excited to see and grow with them. We've taken a step every single week, so it's just about continuing to build that here. And the third name I have is Carter Kettle.
Okay,
Carter
from
Kettle.
University here, yeah.
Yeah, from U of A. When I say this kid is good, he's going to be really, really good. And I think he might get his first shot this week, so be on the lookout for Carter out there, number 80. Excited for him, and I think he's going to be a really good player here soon.
What is it about him that caught your eye in camp? What has he done to me? Okay, you know what? I respect that as a receiver.
Yeah, me and Rank we're at the hip. I'm doing and that's one of the things. From the door, I said, "Hey, Rank, what's the standard? What we doing? I'm with you every day." And so there's a few other people that have came with me and me and Rank every single day, and he's one of them. And so you see it in practice, and you guys got to see it in preseason. Who's making big plays? Number 80. And, and so that same thing we see every single day in practice. So it's respecting. I know he's coming from U of A, and he had he could have had the opportunity to go back, and so there was a lot of pressure for him to make this team, and to see it kind of how he performed and how he developed and the ups and downs he had. He's going to be a great pro. He's going to be a great pro, and I'm excited for him in his young career.
And Austin, any significance for you and number 3?
Yeah, 100%. Well, fortunately, I wasn't able to get 81 on the move over because Zach had that number, and out of respect, that's how double E, they don't do that, right? They don't just say, hey, new player, he gets the number, and like, no, you got to earn that, right? Or ask him for it. Obviously, Zach wanted to keep that number, rightfully his. I have 2 children, and I have 1 on the way. All right, so that's 3. All right, my first child was, first off, me and my wife, we got married on April 3rd. My first was born on March 3rd, and my second was born on October 3rd. So
get out of here.
All of these, when I was going through like the numbers, right? Yeah. I had the opportunity to pick 3, 6, 17, like 87, or like some other whack 80 numbers. I didn't want those numbers. So Out of 3, 6, and 17, only thing that popped out with significance was 3 because of all that I mentioned. So
Now, is your third child due around the 3rd?
October 1st.
Oh
So
my goodness! So you could go 3 for 3. Jeez,
yeah,
well,
who knows? Who
siblings
knows?
with the same birthday, you never know. Could
That would
happen.
be crazy. That would
That
be
would
crazy.
be. Well, Austin, thanks so much for this. And hey, speaking of 3, hopefully you get your 3rd straight win on Thursday night in Winnipeg.
Absolutely, Jason. Thanks for having me, guys. Go Elks. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it. There's Austin Mack. What are the chances? Married April 3rd, first is born March 3rd, second's born October 3rd, and now his third one's due October 1st. Oh, well, that'd be wild if it actually happened, man. You never know. But hey, Austin Mack has been a go-to guy in the red zone. And we probably haven't talked about that a lot, but early on this season, the Elks have been infinitely better at putting balls in the end zone. Now, Rankin, of course, lots of his runs are longer runs, but Mack, big touch, even Fajardo in overtime at the 6-yard line. You punch it in. How many people thought Fajardo was going to be the one carrying the ball in the 6-yard line? Not me. I thought, and hey, it was almost like the Statue of Liberty play. I thought that's what they were running, and then he optioned out of it and took it on his own and virtually untouched in the end zone. So a really good call at that point. And it was key for them after what I thought was a very sluggish fourth quarter offensively for the green and gold to bounce back and get that win in overtime was massive. And Austin Mack's going to be good. But sounds like we'll get coming up in the 4:00 hour. Deck's going to join us. We're going to talk some football cons as well. But Carter Kettle, I know that they've been high on him. And sounds like he's going to get his first CFL start on Thursday. So there we go. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the bro zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day, this Saturday and Sunday, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows.
We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond, and then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisqford.ca. Nisq Ford, above expectations.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you've covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of electrician school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Puck Drop Special at Papa John's. A large 2-topping pizza and 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PuckDrop at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
$3:55. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We're going to get Deck and Cons here involved. We got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And Deck, we don't talk a little green and gold because you did talk to Fajardo afterwards, and he admitted that the yes, overtime run was more of a good mix-up.
Yeah, he mentioned after the game, kind of unprompted actually, that he wasn't supposed to pull it on that one because it wasn't a read option. And if you watch the play back, like it looks very clunky. It looks like a broken play. But the way Jordan Murray is blocking on that right side, you're almost like, is this a read option? He did confirm it wasn't. Was not supposed to get the ball. It was supposed to be a zone run to Justin Rankin to the outside left. He just pulled it, made a play. Game's over.
Did he discuss like what went wrong there? Like
he didn't say anything about what went wrong. I think it was just, Justin took the step a little bit too early. He probably didn't have the grip on the ball. Like nothing too crazy. Things like that happen, especially in looks like that from that offensive set. But yeah, no, listen, he made a play. He's a football guy. Whether he's blocking downfield, whether he's making plays like that, he does what he needs to win the game. So credit to him.
What did you make of, like, that's obviously a huge win for the team. Yeah. You know, second quarter was good. Third quarter was unreal. They made good halftime adjustments. They really just got Rankin way more involved. He wasn't really involved in the first half.
Yeah, like first quarter especially, because the first quarter looked really rough, and you were kind of almost waiting for the Elks to blow it open. You were like, defense is keeping them in this game, but it's only a matter of time before they blow it up, because Travis Tice was getting like a first down every time he touched the ball. The offense had nothing. Some of Cody's passes, he was really airmailing them. Justin didn't really get a lot of touches. He had the one on the first drive, gets blown up for a 2-yard loss, and it's just looking really, really clunky. Then, so I actually had a tweet written out. I had a tweet written out before halftime that said, listen, offense has been rough. The defense has played well, all things considered. They'll be happy going down at halftime, only 13-0. And then they come and they put that final drive together before the first half ends. They go out, extended drive, sustained drive. Rankin gets a lot of touches, gets a lot of yards. They had 9 rushing yards going into that drive. I think they had 65 by the end of it. And then that one's obviously capped off with the Austin Mack TD. So it's just, they got a little bit of momentum there before the half. It was finally like, okay, like this is what we can do when Justin Rankin is involved in the offense. This is what we can do when we open things up a little bit. So it was huge for the team, that drive specifically, to get things going. And then obviously in the third quarter, they just kind of took over. Montreal obviously rallied late. Edmonton held it off, but it was such a good game. Like I talked about this morning on Elks Nation. The Elks have now kind of won games. They've played 2 games, but they've kind of won games at 4 different phases or 4 different levels, because they were thoroughly the better team against Ottawa. So we can see them be just the better team and dominate, if you will. But they also held off Ottawa's comeback. Then this one against Montreal, they look really out of their depth late. You're starting to think like, okay, maybe there are levels to these teams in the CFL. And then they rally from that and come back and win. And again, not only do they hold off the Elks at the end of the game, but they win in overtime. So it's really nice to see them do it at all kind of 4 levels, like I mentioned there, in only 2 games. And the things they're putting together, a lot more fluidity, a lot more flow offensively. The defense is willing to tackle. I still have some issues with what they do in their zone coverage, but overall, night and day from this point last season.
Well, there's lots of areas. We mentioned the defense. I thought the defense really allowed the offense to find their traction in that game, because it was like bend, not break. You know, they got it. They got a turnover at one point, which was key. But I really felt that Alexander obviously had a good game, but man, there were times like fourth quarter, not so much. But even in overtime, you know what? They forced him to settle for a field goal, because at that point it looked like, oh my God, they're going 35 yards here to get a touchdown. I was quite impressed by the defense's ability to come up big at key moments. They didn't limit them all the way, but when there needed to be a big play, they seemed to make more often the big play.
Yeah, 100%. Like Montreal only got into the red zone once. Now, they did get a touchdown out of it, and obviously they got some other points outside of that. But it's like, it felt like they had these sustained drives where they were really putting things together, and then all of a sudden it would just stop. And that's credit to the Elks defense. Like I did have some issues. There were at least 3 or 4 plays that should have resulted what are called coverage sacks, where basically like the DBs are playing so well that the line gets there and gets to the quarterback. Now, part of that, Davis Alexander is such escapability. He's a very unique quarterback in the sense that he can really extend things a lot longer than others. But there were at least 3 or 4 times that were like, man, like the pass rush has to be there in these situations, and they weren't. That was one kind of takeaway. But like you said, it was bend, don't break, and you're playing a really good team, a Grey Cup favorite. You're not going to walk away with 5 sacks and 3 picks, probably. Like, this is a really good team with a really good quarterback. So
did anyone ask Killam about? There was a lot of times in second and long where they just rushed 3.
All
right, and like, I just don't know if you want to give Alexander that much time.
I agree, especially because the Elks play too soft in their zones. Like, one thing about zone coverage is it's easier to play than man. And when you rush 3 and you drop 9, you're playing 9 on 6. But the thing about the one thing with zone coverage is you still have to find a man in your zone. You still have to pick up someone in your zone. Like, you can't sit when you're that generally in a zone coverage, the halves will cover the flats. And what you need to do is you obviously need to sit in the flats and find your guy. But what the Elks halves do more often than not, I found in this game, is they sit too far back. So he has all this time, receivers have time to get open. And then even if they weren't, like, he would dump it to Travis Tice, especially late in the fourth quarter, and he would have a 7-8 yard head start to meet the DB and make him miss. So it's little things like that. He wasn't asked about that schematic specifically. He was asked about some defensive schematics. But it's just like, I would love for this Elks team, and I don't know how feasible it is with how they call their defense, and JC, he has a great mind for the game, obviously. I would love to for them to put trust in their 5 DBs and say, like, because I think this DB core is as talented as any receiving group in the CFL. I would love
play
for them
up
to
a little
run,
closer on the line.
Run some cover zeros and say, we're going to trust our 5 with our Sam and Kenny Logan against your 5 or your 6 in the receiving game, and just like do mano-a-mano, because I think you have guys who can really blanket the other team's receivers when they're on them in those man coverages.
Yeah, I think Trey Ford's a better man-to-man cover than zone cover.
Terrell, yeah, absolutely.
Terrell Ford,
yeah,
sorry, not
he,
Trey.
he listen, he's an incredible DB, but his zone coverage is not that great at all this season. He's gotten lost a couple times in his zone coverage. He's played like what he did last year that he was exceptional with is he would close the distance so quick on when he was in zone coverage, and he would knock the ball loose. Now, granted, the bad weather has
That's what I wanted. That was my next question here.
It has factored in. I'll give him that benefit of the doubt, but everything for him, and it's been 2 games, and I think he's one of the best field corners in the CFL. It looks a little slow. Like it's a little like, Terrell, this isn't you, buddy. Like I know you. This isn't you. Let's kick it into, you're stuck in third a little bit, which is fine. Like if you have a 72 Chevy, it's not getting out of second, so third isn't bad. But we want to see you kicking into fourth a little bit.
Lastly, I look at this week now, a little bit of a shorter week, but when you win, the shorter week's not nearly as hard. That's just a fact. Your body feels better. It doesn't ache and pain. You go up against the Bombers, and they're coming off a bye, so I know they'll be prepared. But this Bomber team isn't like the dominant Bomber team of the past, right? Like they lost to Hamilton 37-27. They beat Calgary in overtime. Or sorry, not overtime. Last second field goal of the game, but they've scored basically 29 points a game. What's the challenge, first of all, for the defense? And then if you're the offense, well, outside of get Rankin involved, because that's captain obvious. What do you think they got to do?
Yeah, this Winnipeg team is a lot like a 37-year-old boxer who's been heavyweight champ for like 12 years now. And they're still kind of hanging around at the end of their career. And everyone's like, they're not quite looking as good as they used to. Like there's not as much on the punches as there used to be, but there's still kind of this aura around them that's like, no, they're still the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Like they're still going to be really good. And Edmonton, on the other hand, is like this 22-year-old up and comer who just won the Gold Gloves a couple years ago and has had a nice start to his pro career. And they're throwing really heavy punches. Like Winnipeg's thing, they get so much of the benefit of the doubt, which they've deserved over what they've built over the last half decade plus, but they look a little older and slower. And I think keys to the game defensively, like they have to take Brady Oliveira out of the game, because when Zach Collaros was winning league MOPs and he was really firing on all cylinders, they could use Brady. I don't want to say sparingly because he was always such a big part of the offense, but it almost felt like a luxury. It was like, we don't have to go to Brady all the time because of what Zach Collaros can do, but when we do, he's Brady Oliveira. Now their offense feels a little bit more like we have to go to Brady Oliveira because we don't have kind of the firepower in the passing game anymore just because of what Zach's doing. So offensively, defensively, I think it's really as simple as keeping Brady out of the game. Offensively, you have to feed Justin Rankin. And this is why through 2 weeks, I know some guys have put up really impressive stat lines. The reason I think he's the MOP of the league so far, and it's obviously very early, is because he is the MVP of the Elks. Like for them to have success, it goes through him. He opens up so much. He can be dead stopped in the backfield and turn it into a 30-yard game. He led the team in receiving yesterday, so he can open up the receiving game and be a hot read for Cody. Like everything the Elks offense has to do, and it gets a little repetitive, and defenses can key on it, and it can even get, I don't want to say boring for a fan to watch, but even a little predictable for a fan to watch, but it just has to go through him because of how dynamic he is.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat out Davis Alexander just to start. He's on, right? How many passing yards?
And at QB, right?
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell. Now, if he goes 1,000, I think that's to get in the conversation. He has to do something no one else has ever done. I think that makes it possible. But if Alexander throws for 5,500 yards, well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. But earlier, even Chad Kelly in Toronto, what he's doing now, he's throwing a ton of picks. Though he's got 5 picks in 2 starts, but he also has 7 touchdowns. Toronto right now is the most entertaining offense in the league. Good or bad?
Are they
right?
ever? My goodness!
If their games are fun to watch, you got to be on your toes. But he's a gunslinger in there, so I'm looking forward to Thursday's game. Edmonton so far, obviously, you're 2-0. They needed a game against Ottawa, and they really controlled the game. They probably should have beaten by more, to be honest. The Montreal game was a little bit up and down, but they hung around and they won, which was key. And love that they gave up a 10-point lead in the last 6 minutes of the game. That was less than ideal. But now you go on the road in Winnipeg. I hope it's nice. I haven't even looked at the weather, but I hope it'd be nice. We have maybe a better sense of where they're at. And here's a real opportunity, though. It's early. Like if you can beat Winnipeg, you're going to put yourself 3 games up on one of BC or Calgary, unless they have a shock wall. You can't even have ties. So you know what? They're going to put yourself 3 games up on one of them early on in the year, which is a massive advantage.
Yeah, unbelievable place to be. And just to put a bow on it, like the one other thing about that Montreal game is they found ways, like in 3 different areas, they found ways to win where they would consistently lose and give games away last year. So that is huge for morale going forward, huge for the team.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Deck. We appreciate that. Declan Cougar, of course, covers the Elks for us very well. We'll take a break. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. When they say you're on the road together, they mean it. From tires, wheels, oil changes, auto repairs, and more. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Connor Murphy's time with the Edmonton Oilers will continue as the team has extended the defenseman on a 5-year, $20.4 million deal. The signing comes one day after the Oilers signed forward Jason Dickinson to a 5-year, $20 million deal. The Hall of Fame announcement class came earlier today, and for 5 players and 1 builder receiving the honor, Patrice Bergeron, Carey Price, Becker Rene, Brady Tkachuk, and Sidney Curley will enter as players, while Brian Burke entering as a builder. At the World Cup earlier today, Messi at 2 as Argentina gets past Austria 2-0. At halftime, France leads Iraq 1-0. Mbappe with the lone goal in that one. Later tonight, Senegal and Norway from Jersey. Then at 9 o'clock, Jordan taking on Algeria from Levi Stadium in California. Toronto Blue Jays back in action today, hosting the Houston Astros. First pitch, 5:07. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock. One game set to get going. Nationals Phillies delayed due to rain. Later tonight, you got the Tigers and the Yankees, the Royals in Tampa, Reds host the Brewers, Cubbies up against the Mets, Twins host the Dodgers, Red Sox in Colorado, Angels get the Orioles, and the Braves taking on the Padres. And from the association, free agent Trey Young intending to sign a 4-year deal with $212 million to stay with the Washington Wizards with a 4th-year option. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll be joined by the head coach of the New Mexico Goatheads, Zach Stortini, and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Listen up, friends.
What a goal by
Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks as always for listening and watching the show. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in on instance, live dealer, lottery, sports, casino, all in one place. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. So we got a little action for you tonight. How about the Jays? How about the first time since I can remember in a long time, the Jays rotation doesn't have a bullpen starter? You got Dylan Cease going tonight. Shane Bieber is going to go tomorrow. Then you Savage, then Gosman, and Corbin on Friday, which means then obviously Cease will be on Saturday. So getting healthier maybe on the bump for the Jays could help. We also have a little Elks action for you. And hey, plan ahead. Canada. With a win, Jonathan David stay in the race for the Golden Boot or Kyle Aaron. We'll see. Check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, man, there's so much going on in the sporting world right now. I quite love it. Honestly, if you're a sports fan, man, like it's endless to watch. Heck, I found myself watching the U.S. Open fairly intently on Sunday. Of course, helped with all of the rain. We're going to get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction, a fantastic company founded in 2009. They just keep expanding and growing, and they are hiring right now. Whether you're just starting out, you're looking for a very consistent, rewarding job, or you got experience, check it out, All-Star Construction. As we get to some, first of all, I always like it. Did you see that game as the Phillies had something that happens very rarely in a game? A teammate had 3 home runs and another teammate hit for the cycle. As Bryce Harper had his first career cycle, and Kyle Schwarber, who is launching bombs, he had 3, including Connor, 2 in the same inning. That was when they crushed the Mets 15-3. So that was interesting. Now, Connor mentioned it earlier about Wyndham Clark, who basically led wire to wire. It is the 9th wire to wire win in U.S. Open history. And because he had a 6-shot lead after the opening round, but then he bogeyed 3 of his first 7 holes. And all of a sudden you're like, what? Is this Sunday going to be close? And it was close. Came pretty much down to the wire. But Clark managed to win. And I don't know, Cons, if you're watching, he bogeyed 17, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is where it's going to happen. But now the other thing, I was kind of naive to, like, there's a lot of disdain online for Wyndham Clark. Now, I read some of the stories. I'm like, okay, sounds like he's had a few temper tantrums. Now, to his credit, he admitted it. Like, he said, hey, man, I'm told, like, and he didn't just do it once, like multiple times he addressed how I was completely wrong. It was inappropriate. Like, you can't change your actions, but at least you can. Hey, it's nice to hear someone actually admit when they did something wrong. And all he did was, like, smash a locker or something here. Like, it's funny. People are more upset about that than some of the other things that we see going on right now. So that was a little odd to me. I'm just kind of surprised at how many people.
He's banned from Oakmont, hey?
Well, yeah, that got banned.
So the U.S. Opens there in 2033.
I wonder by then, so that was going to be my question. Do you think he's a 2-time major winner now? Do you think they change that by then? Like so it's 2026. If over the next 6 years, he has like a perfect record of being a good human, do you think they would change it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if he's cool the next couple of years here and chills out a little bit, I think they'll revoke it in 2033.
Okay. Did you see the parade in Raleigh on the weekend? Their first Stanley Cup in 20 years. And it had around, they said 150,000 fans. I'll be honest, I was stunned. Why? I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good turnout. Because that's 1/3 of Raleigh's population. 1/3. Because if you look at the Knicks, like the Knicks they're projecting about 2 million people at their parade, right? Making it the third largest parade behind the Cubs in 2016. They had 5 million people at their parade in 2016. Now, keep in mind, they'd gone 100 years. Like there was literally everybody at the parade had never seen a Cubs championship ever. Right? There were some people around that had seen the Knicks win in 1973, but no one in Chicago had seen them win in 2016. The Yankees had 3 million people in 1998. So the Knicks, 2 million, it's pretty big. Now, in Raleigh, North Carolina, people say, oh, it's only 150. But keep in mind, there's 15 million people in New York. So that's, just over it's about, 17.5. In Raleigh, it was 1/3. It's pretty big. It broke the city's record for largest gathering ever in a single day. So, you know what? Good for the NHL, man. In Raleigh, North Carolina, there's a team. Guess what? Wasn't a super team. They made some super good trades, but they didn't have any overpaid contracts and they tried to get a superstar. They tried to get Rantanen. They tried to get Quinn Hughes. They tried to get Well, they did get Rantanen, but then they had to move him. But they've tried, and it still worked. So good for them. Also, Cam Schittler on the weekend, career high 13 strikeouts. That lowers his ERA to 1.71, which is this is pretty impressive. The lowest by any Yankees pitcher in his first 16 starts of his season since Whitey Ford back in 1964. Pretty good. Now, a lot of people think that Schittler right now, the Cy Young in the AL is his to lose. He's nearly a full run better in ERA than Drew Rasmussen, and his whip is just shy of Rasmussen's 0.88. He's at 0.89. Now, we're not even halfway through the season, but obviously he is off to a good start. Now, if the Cy Young had just one winner, he wouldn't be a clear winner. Mazeroski in Milwaukee, hello. He'll be getting a lot of consideration. A lot. Coming up this week, the World Cup. Canada. Now, Canada's got their first draw, got their first win, and they booked themselves, but they could win their group for the first time. A draw or a win, 1:00 start time on Wednesday against Switzerland could be massive for Team Canada. And can Kyle Larin score 3 matches in a row? What's Jonathan David going to do for an encore after his first hat trick? Could he match Messi? Get up to 5 goals? It'll be crazy to watch. And Brady Tkachuk traded from the Ottawa Senators to the Florida Panthers for 4 draft picks. Two first rounders this year, the 9th and the 25th overall picks. A first rounder in 2029 and a second rounder in 2030. Tkachuk, career high of 37 goals. He's had 30 goals 3 times. He scored 20 goals the other 4 times. The only season he didn't have 20 was the shortened season of 2021 when he finished with 17 goals, 36 points in 56 games. If you prorate it, he would have had another 20-goal season. His career high in points, he had 83 points in 82 games in 23, and then he had 74 when he scored the 37 goals in 24. The last 2 years, 55 and 59 points. But interesting to note that Brady Tkachuk has missed. He's either been not nothing. He's either missed no games or one game, or he misses like over double digits in games. He's never had a season of missing. No, that's not true. He had one season where he missed 3 games in 2022. Played all the games in 20, played all the games in 21, played all the games in 23, all the games in 24, and then he missed 10. And then this past season, he missed 22 games for the Ottawa Senators. And I'll be curious. Lots of people are speculating, are the Tkachuk brothers going to be on a line? We'll see. I'm going to be interested to see how this goes in Florida. Because right now, if you look at Florida's depth on paper, and Oiler fans, you're probably happy they're not in your division. They're not in your conference. Florida on paper looks pretty good. Barkov down the middle. You got Sam Bennett down the middle and Anton Lundell. Not bad. Then your wingers. Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Brady Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, Brad Marchand, Evan Rodrigue. And I didn't even mention Eetu Luostarinen. So they got pretty good depth. No question. So one of those guys is on your fourth line. It's a good problem to have. Or do they potentially move someone? We'll see. But the Florida Panthers looking good right now, though. They don't have a goalie signed. See what they do in that. The Jordan Binnington rumblings have picked up a little bit. Let's take a quick break. We'll return. Former Edmonton Oiler Zach Stortini joins us next on The Gregor Show. He's got a new coaching gig presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses, plus get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day this Saturday and Sunday, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See you in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Fuel prices got you down? Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru, Crosstrek, and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Port 27, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger on a Monday afternoon for you. If you missed it, the Elks on the road in Winnipeg trying to go 3-0. Woo-hoo! Meanwhile, it's a one-day event this week in the CFL. Thursday, Edmonton, Winnipeg. Friday, Toronto, Saskatchewan. Saturday, Calgary and BC. Both teams 0-2. And then Sunday, we'll have Ottawa and Montreal. Of course, the Elks, this is the start of a back-to-back road games because they are on the road Saturday, July 4th in BC, and then they are home on Thursday, July 9th against Ottawa. So a Saturday, Thursday, Saturday, Thursday. So short weeks followed by a little bit of an extra long week. So we'll see how they do in those. But they plan ahead. The next home game for the Elks will be on Thursday, and then they have a back-to-back. Then they play on Friday, the 17th, against the BC Lions. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. We are going to get to our big guest of the day now, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, located just south of Edmonton. Great facility, also a great venue to watch concerts. And they are bringing the legend, Gene Simmons, in town. Get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. Ticket sales are going great, and you'll want to get in before it's sold out. We are joined now by a former NHLer, former member of the Edmonton Oilers. He, of course, now is the new head coach of the New Mexico Goatheads. Zach Stortini joins us. Zach, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on the show, Jason.
Hey, buddy, it's good to see you. Good to talk to you again. I know when we talked to you last, you were very serious, which doesn't surprise me. I knew he's a player. Despite the role you played, you're always a very intelligent guy. You were somebody who always wanted to, like, coaching was something that you've thought about for a while. You've been doing it, obviously, at major, junior. Kind of take us through this process and, why this was the right fit for you in New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tremendous opportunity. It's a brand new franchise in the ECHL and partnered with the Colorado Avalanche, and Rev Entertainment owns the team. It's a great experience already, talking with the people involved in the organization. The fans are passionate being down there. The city is great. It's on the rise, and, it's an exciting organization to be a part of.
Zach, you've never been, you go back to when you're playing days, obviously, you grinded it out. You're not afraid to kind of get your hands dirty and start out. You've been an assistant coach for the last few years in the American Hockey League after being an assistant associate coach in the OHL. And you just feel like you needed to challenge yourself and you're ready to want to be the guy, because ultimately there's more decisions, there's more responsibility when you be the head coach, and you felt like, I got to do that to take the next step.
Yeah, it's a progression of a career into that lead role. And for me, getting the opportunity to be the head coach and make those decisions was the right next step. And giving that vote of confidence from New Mexico to lead their team, it was a perfect match.
So do you kind of have an idea, how is Zach Stortini going to be as a head coach?
Well, I think you look at a lot of the principles that you stand for throughout your whole career, whether you're a player or a coach. And, it always comes down to, for me, it's always the four choice areas: effort, attitude, commitment, and compete. It's working hard every day with the right attitude, being committed to the process, the system, and you're competing. You always want to win. You always want to help players be better. And I think throughout my career, I've been very fortunate to play with a lot of great players and to play for a lot of great coaches. And, I feel and I see the impact that they've made on my career as a hockey player and my own, personal human side, making me a better man, I feel it's my duty, my responsibility to help the next players up to get to achieve their dreams, to get to the places that they want to get to. And I hope to use, my insights to be a stepping stone on their journey to the next level, to the AHL and to the NHL.
Now, I haven't seen Zach, so I apologize if I missed it. Have you filled out your coaching staff yet?
We're in the process of doing that. So being an expansion franchise, we're working through the process of, filling out staff and players. And, it's a great part of the job is, getting the opportunity to put people in place to uphold and continue to build that culture that we're looking for.
So what would you be looking for on your coaching staff?
Yeah, I think it always comes down to, two key areas. One, you got to be a great person. We spend so much time together. Everybody knows, the long hours that are required as a coach that you have to put in order to develop young athletes today. I mean, the detail that's required is huge. So somebody who's a great person that you want and know and can trust in those trenches when you're battling. The other part is somebody who's capable. Somebody that has the ability and experience that, can help lead young men, make everybody around them better and make sure that, they're fully committed to doing the right job.
Now, Zach, when you're the assistant coach or the associate coach, a lot of times, you're a little bit more of the raw guy, pat him on the back a little bit more. When you're the head coach, obviously you got to be the decision maker guy. What have you seen in being an assistant coach, or even when you played, kind of some of the traits where you're like, okay, now I've got to kind of, not that you like hard ass, I think sometimes gets overblown. I think you can be demanding while being respectful at the same time, of course. But how do you kind of transfer into that at all? Is it a change after being an assistant coach for the last 4 years?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it a change? It's a different role. It requires a different set of skills and a demeanor that I think is suited to, what I can bring. So, I think in the game of hockey as a player, you're always adapting to certain roles and certain responsibilities on the team. And it's no different than in coaching. You're still counted upon as a leader. You're here to lead the group in the culture aspect of what we're trying to do. So, I think for me, nothing changes in that regard. The biggest thing is, you're always doing things for the right reason, and you want to communicate with players. And players are smart. They know what's right and what's not, and they want to be held accountable. They want to make sure that they're being demanded to give the best effort. And the attitude to me is the big piece where everybody's on the same page. We want the same things. We want to make sure that we're pulling the rope the same way. So as a head coach, that's your responsibility to uphold that culture. And, I think, the tools that you have as a player is different than as a coach, and the tools you have as an assistant coach are different than a head coach. So you're always learning and growing and adapting in those roles.
Now, you're still a young guy for a coach. I think you're still only 40 years of age, Zach. You've been coaching now for
you.
years. And I talked to a lot of guys. I'm like, man, like it's hard sometimes to remove the player from me when I get behind the bench, right? Like I'm a fiery guy, but players at the same time, they want to know that their coach cares, right? And so there is strategic times, like maybe when you got to be a little bit more open, vocally to an official, or sometimes even the other team's coach every now and then. And I know you've been involved in those situations before on the bench with other teams. I still remember that one video. You're laughing. You're like, I think I do okay in that department, which was quite funny. But how do you kind of deal with that part of knowing that, like, you want to be in control, but every now and then your players like to know that the coach has their back?
Always have their back. It's always about the players, and a couple key points that you hit on there. One, I mean, my playing days are done. I was very fortunate to have a good run. I know I'm done playing. I'm not looking to do that anymore, so I am a passionate guy, and it's the right time, the right place. And, A lot of respect for everybody else involved in the game, whether it's an official or another coach, or obviously the players, as we mentioned, everybody has a key stake in what we're trying to do is provide entertainment for our fans. And I will always have our players back. It's about that team mentality and, making sure that we're doing things the right way, and no issue standing up for, what is right. And, there is always passion behind it because I truly care. I truly care about the players. I truly care about the game, and I truly care about our organization. So that will never, ever change.
Is it nice going to an organization whose current head coach started coaching the ECHL, where you see here's an organization that respects kind of all the levels?
You're exactly right. And you look around the league at, guys that have taken a path through, the 3 different developmental leagues coming up. And you lean on them, for their experience, and you look to them. Obviously everybody takes a different path, but you look to them and see the road that they took and those experiences, how it's helped them in their career today. And, very fortunate that, the guy behind the bench in Colorado understands, what that's like. And, I think that's inspiring for a young coach like me, to see somebody as successful as Jared Bednar, going through that type of path. So I think, both Bednar and Ryan Warsofsky would be the other guy who's, a dear friend of mine and a tremendous success, as a coach. So you look to those 2 guys and, you draw inspiration from them.
Now, I've noticed you got the New Mexico Goat Heads as a team name. You got the Goat Head logo right there. What's the color pattern you guys are going to have for your unis?
Yeah, and that's a great question. It matches the Colorado organization. Okay. So the Colorado Avalanche and the Colorado Eagles, who we're both partnered with. We're developing players for the Avs and the Eagles. And, I think that color scheme is easily carried, throughout the organization.
Now, what about the facility in New Mexico? Is this a brand new rink?
It's a newer rink, and and that's a great question. Everybody is pleasantly surprised, I think, at the amount of fans and passion and amenities that are available to us in New Mexico. I mean, it's a situation where you don't usually connect New Mexico to hockey, but once you're there, man, it's incredible. You go there for a couple of rallies that they have, with the jersey unveiling and the watch parties they have for the Avs and the Eagles, and it's quite amazing to see the amount of support that the city is giving the team. We're so lucky. We're up in Rio Rancho, which is just north of Albuquerque. The arena facilities is amazing. They're putting a ton of money into creating a great fan experience. You got the laser light shows and the projectors and all those types of cool tech things that are beyond my comprehension, but they do a fantastic job. Going to provide a great fan experience. It's a loud building. The way it's built, it's the fans are right on top of you, and it's a loud atmosphere. It's an exciting atmosphere. And then the amenities that they have in the city. I mean, it's first class. It really is. Throughout the organization, the way we're treated by the owners with Rev Entertainment. Our staff is incredible. The amount of work and effort they put into preparing all the events. So very lucky, so very fortunate to be a part of it.
So as a coach at the ECHL level, Zach, are you doing is part of it recruiting? Do you have a pretty big say in trying to get some of the guys to go there? Is that how it works?
I'm part of that process, and it's a privilege to be part of that process. But a lot of it's done with coordination with the Colorado organization as well. And Mike Battaglia is a huge guy in that organization. Helping attract players to New Mexico, and he's a guy who's always at work. He's on the rise. He's a passionate, enthusiastic guy, and we've had many great conversations already.
Now, I know a lot of coaches at times in practice like to have a little bit of fun, maybe have a shootout drill or such. How's Zach Stortini, the coach's breakaway skills at this stage? Are the hands good? Like you feel confident if you have? Like,
they were never good. Come on, they were never good.
Hey, it's pretty decent in junior, right? When you're the captain, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you give players all the tools, to be able to, continue to grow and get better every day. And that's where, that affiliation with the Colorado Avalanche is such a huge asset to our team. And, the player development guys that are going to be involved, throughout that process. I think there's a couple former Edmonton Oilers involved now with Colorado, Andrew Cogliano being one of them, so again, it's exciting to, see some familiar faces that way. And then, a ton of great resources in, both the tools on and off the ice and the people. It's all about the people. We have great people, that are going to help, these young athletes achieve their goals and dreams to reach the next level.
Zach Stortini with us now. Zach, on a personal note, how many kids you got now? How old's your oldest?
I got one young son who's 5 years old.
5 years old. So have you got him on the Blades yet?
Oh yeah. He's out there. He's loves the game and buzzing around. So try to hop out there anytime I can with him, and we have a lot of fun together.
Oh well, that's awesome. Well, I'm sure he's loving the goat head uniform. Like
yeah. We got some good stuff there too. There's a couple of stuffies that he loves playing with, and some sticks. He's all set up.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Well, Zach, congratulations, man. We'll be following. I hope to talk to you again soon, and enjoy it with the goat heads.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Jason.
You betcha. That is Zach Stortini. Really good guy, man. Zach, I always had time to talk for Zach. Funny guy, hard-nosed player. You just go back. Like, he was a guy who, honestly, like, his character and personality is what got him to the NHL, right? Like, he was somebody who worked extremely hard, gave everything he had. Wasn't the most talented NHL player by any stretch of imagination, but you know what? And he was a captain at a lot of different teams. And that, when you're the captain, and like Zach Stortini was never the best player, the most purely skilled player in his team. But when you were like, he was a good player in junior. Obviously, he was a captain at a young age, but tough. But to be the captain, and like, sometimes a lot of the captains are the best players, nothing wrong with that. But when you're a non-best player and you're a captain, to me, that kind of shows just how you're respected for who you are in a person and how you treat others. And doesn't surprise me that that's a guy who got into coaching at all. So wish him all the success with the goat heads. I like that. I like that logo color. I can see the goat heads. Kids would love that. That's a logo the kids would like. It's not scary looking. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Great look for sure. Great color scheme. And just to echo what you said, I mean, when someone had to step up, he was a guy that was always going to get in there and do that job. Not a job a lot of guys want to do, but he would do it. So really thrilled. And great team to work with. Got us a response very quickly back from the organization. So yeah, I'm going to be watching the East Coast League, see how they do this year. Looking up the community. Looks kind of nice, Gregor. Nice, quiet community almost. It's awesome.
Oh, it should be. Well, that arena looks great. I was looking at it online, so that should be. ECHL, man. Just like in AAA ball, there's lots of play. You're not the highest level, but the fans love it. You connect to the fans. You make it really good experience. Obviously, it helps if your team can be successful. But I know guys who played in the ECHL for 10 years and became like huge names in those communities. People that have, retired, like, kind of joke, this guy could be the mayor, like, very well liked by lots of the fans. So I wish those guys the best of luck. We'll come back with the 5 questions and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place in Ice District.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all sevens. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Fun and friendly with morning rates Monday to Thursday. Just $65 for 18 holes with cart. $55 for seniors. Includes a $5 food voucher for dining at Cattail's Out of Bounds restaurant. There's early bird golf Saturday and Sunday. $50 for 9 holes with cart and snack voucher. 9 and dine Fridays after 4. $130 per pair for 9 holes, cart, and a $40 Out of Bounds gift card. Plus, Glow Golf every second Friday and bring your dog golfing on Mondays. Visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long. Like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day this Saturday and Sunday only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back the Monday afternoon. How about this? If you like fun, feel-good stories and really don't impact anybody in a negative way, how about this? Now, I don't know if it's going to end up this way, but Ernie Clement, All-Star Game is a few weeks away, and Ernie Clement leads all American League players in voting with over 2 million votes. The top vote getter in each league through June 25th earns an automatic All-Star bid. Now, he's kind of like the everyday guy in the majors. He's not necessarily great at one thing. He's just good at a lot of little things. Right? He was obviously great in the playoffs. Right? He set the record most hits for the Jays? So it was, it's interesting that Ernie Clement he's got till Thursday. And if he maintains his lead, it helps playing in a big market for sure. But they are rallying around Ernie Clement to get into the All-Star game. So good for him. Good for him. That'd be fun. It's not John Scott because John Scott didn't play that much. But I remember people loved that, right? They love it. Clement's the guy went all the way to the World Series and was their leading hitter as far as hits. He was pretty good. So I don't think it'll be the John Scott level. We'll see. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We got a lot of text. Hey guys, I want an autographed Stortini jersey to Craig Simpson Tournament Hero. Fun to hear he's doing well from Coach Doug. We got a lot of we'll get some other Storts text here. I like it. But first, let's get to the let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Saving you more? That's just what they do at The Brick and thebrick.com, as they got Boxing Week deals right now. $1,000 off genuine leather reclining sofas. You can get up to 40% off of select mattresses. And you can find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Maybe you got somebody, graduated university, high school, you're moving out, you need some furniture. Check it out, The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Just quickly, Gregor, the lead over the second baseman for All-Star votes is about 1.5 million. So he's kind of running away with this one so far. Question number 1 for you today. What grade do you give the Oilers for the contract extensions with Dickinson and Murphy?
I'd give them a solid B+. I think they were needed players. To me, you look at those trades now, you got Dickinson and Doc. Don't forget Colton Doc in that trade for Mangiapane in a first rounder. Like, that's a trade now that you win. Then you look at the Murphy trade. You're going to get Murphy for the playoff run last year and 5 more years for a second rounder. You do that trade all day because you're getting an established NHL player to just allow you, while you're in your window, to compete for a cup. You've got a second pair right defense. And you know what's the area of Murphy's game that he's maybe the best at is suppression in front of the net, Connor. He is an excellent defender around the net, which is an area of the Oilers game that at times is lacking. And he and Dickinson both penalty killers. So, yeah, I'd say a B+.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right around there with you. I really like the deals. I like the AAV. And for me, the no trade clause, no movement clause, it's 3 years. And if you get to a point where you want to decide to move on, you have the 16-team list on each side. I think you could find a team to take that contract with those players. Just, even if the skill diminishes a little bit, you're getting really good guys, and the number with the cap going up won't be that bad. So if you have to move on, I'm not saying they will. I'm hoping they don't have to. But if it comes to that, I think they are contracts that you can move out as well. So I do like it. I'm not buying into the rage bait of people saying that it's too long. I think in this case, it was a tactic to negotiate, and I think it's all right. Question number 2. Obviously, we talked Panthers today with Brady Tkachuk joining the organization. Right now, as we sit, give me your top 3 teams in the Atlantic Division.
Ooh. Well, in no order: Buffalo, Montreal, Florida.
I'll give you an order. I'm going to go Florida, even though the goalie situation, I think that's going to work itself out. Then I will go Buffalo, and then I might go Montreal. I might go Montreal to take that step and surpass the Lightning. So, yeah, I'll go with those 3 in that order. Question number 3 for you. So, with the Tkachuks joining force, give me your top brother duo, but it has to be brothers that played on the same team together at some point.
Well, the Niedermayers, they won, and Scott's a Hall of Famer. Rod's a pretty good player. So they'd probably have to be my my number 1. The Sedins would be close, number 2.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I'm going all the time, I'm going with the Richards, obviously. Right. So I guess, but if we're talking, this generation, then I'll go with Niedermayers.
Yeah, I'm with you for sure. I'll go strictly with the Niedermayers. Just loved watching Rob play. Thought he was so good out there. You'll throw in Scott. They won a cup. They were great. So I'll be going with the Niedermayers for sure. Question number 4 for you. What was the biggest takeaway in the Elks win over Montreal Saturday?
Biggest takeaway. Honestly, to me, their ability to not fold. They were down 13-0. Not much was going right offensively. And then they found their stride late in the second quarter, dominated the third quarter, had a little bit of a blip in the fourth, but then came back and won it in overtime. To me, it was their ability to punch back after trailing 13-0 to a team led by a quarterback who hadn't lost in the regular season in 13 starts.
I'm going to say I think they're building the culture right now. Like, these are games I don't think they would have won last year. I think they would have found ways to lose them. And, they're letting teams back into games, which is something they do have to clean up. But my takeaway, just winning games, building the winning culture, and then even seeing it post game. The video they released, the social media team did, like they've got guys who are excited right now. And credit to Mogensen for stepping up, long snapping after the injury, Mark Corte as well on field goals. Like just having guys step up like that, I think they're really building something, and they're going to start to learn how to close out games. But the culture that Mark Killam has built in this second season, I think, is something that is really impressive and will help them down the road. Final question for you today. Meryl Streep celebrating her 77th birthday today. In honor of that, it's a long list. Do you have a favorite movie that she's been a part of?
Go ahead.
Well, we were scrolling through these. I was talking about it with the Duke as we were waiting in between shows here. A lot of the movies that she's been in, I haven't seen. Probably not a shocker to most people that listen to this show. But she was in The Deer Hunter, and that's a classic. I think she was nominated for an Academy Award for that one. So I'll go with The Deer Hunter.
That's a good one. Now, it was before my time, but people love it. Sophie's Choice. I watched it later on. Thought it was good. Didn't love it. But I'm going to go probably obviously Meryl Streep's a great actress. Most of her movies really aren't there's lots of romantic comedies. But I guess I would go with Ironweed. That's when it was based, I think it was in New York. And it's just like this drifter guy. And, it's just kind of a little bit different from the norm of hers. So I go with Ironweed. I didn't mind that movie. Like Mamma Mia, I'm sorry. Like those type of movies. Like I don't like any sing-along. So it's just not my musicals, not really my thing. So the other one that she did was Doubt. Right. And she was pretty good in that one with Seymour. Was it Seymour Hoffman was in that one too?
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, one of her voices was one of the rejected voices for Rocky in Project Hail Mary. I don't know if you've seen that one yet. But it's a good overall movie, and she has a little role in it. So I guess you could throw that in there as well.
All right. Okay.
Talking to people that work in the building, Devil Wears Prada was very popular.
Yeah, see, I've never seen it, so I couldn't comment.
Yeah.
Right. The Iron Lady, right? When she was Margaret Thatcher. Or was she? Well, she was in it. I can't remember. Was she Margaret? I never saw it, but that's another one of her popular ones. Trying to, I did see one of her movies as a kid, and it was set in, I think it was in Kenya, maybe, out of Africa. I think that's the name, but don't quote me on it. I'm pretty sure that was the name. It's like a plantation owner, Cons.
Oh,
it was pretty good. I think it's called Out of Africa, but you know why you wouldn't like it, Cons? I think it was close to a 3-hour movie. My memory's correct. I think I had to watch it over 2 days.
161. Yeah. So 2.5 hours, give or take. Her and Robert Redford, though, that's a good cast. Based on a true story. A Sidney Pollack film. I could imagine it was quite popular.
Yes. Yeah. No. And it was Out of Africa. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good memory.
She was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. So,
boys, Meryl Streep was unbelievable in Music of the Heart. Okay. River Wild with her and Kevin Bacon. Oh, all right. It's a good one. Hey, guys, what about the stashings for Great Brothers? Good one. Peter, Marion, and Anton. It's pretty sick. With the Quebec Nordiques. That's unreal. And they were all in line for a while, too. But, you always wonder, had Peter been able to come... Anton was good, Marion, but Peter was clearly the best. And second highest scorer in the 80s behind Gretzky. If Peter Stastny had been able to come over earlier, where his stats have been. He's still a Hall of Famer. But he might be one of the least talked about elite offensive players. I think Peter Stastny probably doesn't get his due, just how good he was. That was a very good one, Ken. I love it. Let's take a quick break. Let's get to the Con Man on Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. The Road Trip Ready event is on. You got another week. So stop in if you're looking for it. It's our biggest sale of the year. You will get great savings and no extra bartering, just a great honest deal. Northgate GM.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Connor Murphy's time with the Edmonton Oilers will continue as the team extended the defenseman on a 5-year contract worth $20.4 million. The deal comes one day after the Oilers signed Jason Dickinson to a 5-year deal worth $20 million. Hockey Hall of Fame announcing their class of 2026 with 5 players and 1 builder. Patrice Bergeron, Carey Price, Pecorine, Keith Tkachuk, and Sidney Curley entering as players with Brian Burke elected as a builder. World Cup action today. Messi scored twice for Argentina as they knocked off Austria 2-0. Right now it is halftime between France and Iraq. Kylian Mbappe has the France on top 1-0. That game currently in a rain delay out in Philadelphia. Later on today, Senegal and Norway meeting at 6. Then at 9 o'clock, Jordan takes on Algeria from the Bay Area. Major League Baseball, Toronto Blue Jays are in action, hosting the Astros in about 5 minutes' time. We'll join that game in progress following the Jason Gregor Show. Right now, Yankees up on the Tigers 1-0 midway through the third, while the Royals, Rays, Marlins, Rangers, Phillies, Nationals all scoreless. Later tonight, Twins host the Dodgers, Diamondbacks in St. Louis, Rockies get the Red Sox. They've got the Braves taking on the Padres. 1 game postponed, Mets and Cubs. They'll make that one up on Wednesday. And from the association, free agent Trae Young intending to sign a 4-year contract with approximately $212 million to stay with the Washington Wizards. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
The job isn't done until the last
Connor
load
Halley,
is
Declan
hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has
Jason
a huge
Gregor,
inventory
Connor.
of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries.
Welcome
Find
back,
a trailer right
but-
for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on roller, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Photographers, start yours. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care, Edmonton's multidisciplinary health clinic at West Edmonton Mall. Physicians, physio, massage, and sports psychology, and more. One team, one roof, one plan. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.506 on a lovely Monday afternoon. Hey, if you don't like Mondays, you're not the only one. But you made it through. Now you can go home, relax. I haven't even looked outside. Someone texted me, please tell me it's not raining. I know it stopped for a bit, and I don't know if it's drizzling, but maybe the sun's out. I'm in the studio here at West Edmonton Mall. I have no idea. But I'm visualizing that it's sunny. I haven't seen the sun in a while, so I'm hoping that it comes out. Because you're just in a little bit better mood. But you know what? Even if it's not sunny, but it's just not raining, to me, that's a win right now because there's been a lot of rain thus far. A lot of it. It is the Gregor Show, always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You know what else? We'll put a little spring in your step. I'll tell you that right now. It would be the opportunity to win the Daily Grand. How about our Lotto Max? $25,000. Actually, it's up to 30 now for tomorrow's draw. 30 million and 30 prizes of 100 grand. Heck, I'd take 100 grand, make the day better. PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts and it's sunny outside, baby. I love it. Thank you very much. That just put me in a better mood. I haven't even seen the sun, but I'm visualizing it right now. So thank you very much. Even a few of you who sent in pictures of the sun. Oh, yes. Oh, God, that's nice. Little blue sky, sun. Oh. After the weekend we had, my goodness. Hopefully you didn't have flooding where you were, especially in your house. Now let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And they are hiring. Looking for top men pipe layers or operators. Go gsconstruction.ca. Look up careers. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. And Spec, the Edmonton Oilers, 2 key signings on the weekend. Well, weekend, I guess, for Dickinson. Early today for Connor Murphy. And I said it that when the season ended, like these were 2 guys they needed to sign. I thought Dickinson might be a little too pricey, but at $4 million, a lower AAB than his last contract, I think that's a good deal.
Yeah, listen, you want good players, you got to pay some money. A third line centerman, that's a good one, a good defensive, reliable, trusty character guy like Dickinson. I liked his game in Edmonton. That guy cost you $4 million. That's just the way it is in the game today. You can find me. There's people out there will say, yeah, Carolina's third line center made 2.5. Well, great. Whatever. You can draft a guy, you can develop a guy, you get him early. Sure. But when you're in the UFA market and you want a proven good player who knows what he's doing, he costs you $4 million. Same with Murphy as a second pairing guy. We watched him last year. Everything to love about his game. And those 2 guys bring what the Oilers need, and that is a defensive conscience. I think that's going to be a bit of a theme this year, Jay, don't you?
Not much different than any other year. Like, hey, Oilers got to play better defensively. What? I've never heard that before. So it's not that they can't do it. It's just that they don't do it consistently enough.
Yeah, and it has to, frankly, Dickinson and Murphy don't have to talk to me and show me about playing defensive hockey. They make careers out of it, right? Yeah. It's the big boys that have to go out there and keep pucks out of their net. I don't care if Connor McDavid gets 140 points. Who cares, right? How's that done for us so far here in Edmonton? Leon's a 50-goal, 100-point man almost every year. How many rings does he have, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, this season, to me, as we come the nearer the end of this window than the start, Jason. I think to me that we have to start to look back at a decade of having a really good team, certainly 7 years of having an excellent team, but that excellent team doesn't have any rings, and we should try to, the future should be patterned a little bit after the past. Why hasn't there been any rings, and what can we do about it to change that?
Yeah, well, they came damn close, right? Like, I think you always have to stick to you have to know who you are as a team. Like, I look at Carolina. They didn't change, like, they changed a few players, but they didn't change how they played, right?
Oh, for a long time.
They got a little bit better in certain areas, and then they had a 37-year-old have the greatest series of his life at the right time. So I look at the Oilers, and, like, I don't expect the Oilers to suddenly be like, hey, you know what, we're going to shut it down. But I will say, like, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl can be better than they were last year defensively. Like, last year, they weren't good enough defensively, just point blank. Nope. Whether it was in the regular season or in the playoffs, it wasn't good enough. But they have done both in the past where they scored lots and they outscored the opposition. Like, that has happened before. Last year, like, Connor McDavid was only +7, 5-on-5.
I know.
Right? Like, that, to me, that's the issue here. It's not that he can score lots, because he's scored lots before. That, to me, is never really a problem. But it's what they did defensively, or not defensively, I should say, when he was on the ice, just simply wasn't good enough last year. Like, he's had other years when, like in 2024, when they went to the Cup final, he was +33, 5-on-5. This past year, he's +7. So, and guess what? He scored 15 more. He scored 15 more on the ice for 15 more goals in 6 fewer games. So he's actually more offensive 2 years ago, and then allowed 11 fewer goals. So I think they gotta tighten up defensively, because I ran the numbers today in my Oilers Nation article about the Oilers, and then I compared them to some of the other top teams when it came to goals against, not goals, because if you just do goals for percentage, that can be misleading. They score a lot, they give up a lot, but they still outscore them barely. I was just looking at their goals against per 60. And I looked at Colorado, and I looked at Carolina, and I looked at Vegas and Dallas, like other good teams. And Edmonton had Mangiapane, Wallman, Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman, McDavid, Roslovic, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and Ekholm all over 2.8. Dallas only had one guy over 2.5. Colorado's highest guy was 2.47. And Carolina's highest guy was 2.85. Right? Hurdle was at 3.04 with Vegas. Edmonton had like 9 guys, and most of them were their biggest minute eater guys. So that's where it has to improve, no question.
The guys that get all the ice time really decide how you're going to finish, where you're going to finish, how you're going to play. They set the tone. They set the example. They're the leaders. You can't go out as a 24-minute forward and play poorly defensively and then come back to the dressing room and tell the guys to shore things up defensively. Look at the guy who plays 14 minutes, say, hey, pick it up in your own end, buddy. You can't do that. Like it or not. Like, to win the Art Ross and be +7 at 5-on-5 is I realize you did a deep dive and you did a lot of statistical, digging and searching. And I don't need to look very far past you won the Art Ross and you were +7, 5-on-5. I don't need to know more than that. That means you weren't good enough defensively. That is just a fact. You can't shape that some other way, right? That can't be misread or mischaracterized in any way. So everything starts with McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard and Ekholm and Hyman and those guys. If they don't play better defensively, the rest of the team won't either. We'll be back here a year from now talking about a cup they didn't win.
Yeah. My understanding is that the Babcock presser will likely happen tomorrow for the Edmonton Oilers. That'll finalize things. Then they move into the draft. Darnell Nurse trade spec. In an ideal world, they have it done before free agency because, give them a plan, see where they're going to spend. There's lots of other teams out there that are in similar boats with different players. How confident are you that by next Tuesday, June 30th, he is traded, he being Darnell Nurse?
Yeah, I think I'm fairly confident of that because you're right. Like this is a cap team. They're going to spend the cap, and they need to, if Stan Bowman is able to free up cap space in the Darnell Nurse trade. Well, there's no point freeing it up 2 weeks into free agency when all the good guys are gone, right? I mean, I suppose you could save it for the trade deadline, but I think that obviously the job here space up before July 1st and then decide how much of it you want to spend, how much you want to keep, who you want to get. So yeah, I could see, Jason, like, this trade's been out there for a long time. It's, it's been simmering. Everybody in hockey knows Nurses on the block. Every GM who wants to has had more than one or two conversations with Bowman. Like, at some point, the fruit gets ripe here. It's got to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think so. I think like there's, how it is in the NHL spec, until there's a deadline, it takes a while.
Really
Right?
happens,
So
yeah.
you see all these teams suddenly get all these trades done in the 48 hours before the trade deadline, even though guys been rumored for 6 weeks. So
that's true. That's true.
I can see why, teams are looking, you're taking the offers and, you'll wait, I'll think about it. And because I'm sure some team changes their mind and, oh God, I really want this guy. And if you're Bowman, like, there's no urgency to trade him today, right? Unless you get the deal that you really like. If you don't love the deal, you're like, I can wait and see what happens. And other teams are probably, looking around and finding out who they like and who they don't like and maybe who else is available. And does somebody change their mind at the draft all of a sudden? So ideally you want it done before free agency. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but I just think it makes your summer a lot better.
I think we'd all agree he's got to get a defenseman back in this deal somehow. So either he gets it back in the Nurse deal or he gets the cap space back in the Nurse deal that he takes to July 1st and goes and gets his defenseman, right? So that's really, I think Stan would take it either way, Stan Bowman. If he can get the player he wants in the trade, then maybe you do that. Then you don't have to go to free agency. Or if you don't get the guy you want in the trade, you better have some cap space for July 1st, and then you can fill that void. They filled Connor Murphy. I'd say to you, their top four is pretty much solidified here. And, you got to get a left shot 5 defenseman who hopefully can push the second pairing guy, hopefully can fill in for Wallman if he gets hurt again. A guy that can, like, I'm kind of defining Brett Kulak a little bit here, but that's the kind of guy you want.
No question. The Edmonton Elks, a huge victory on Saturday afternoon, a rainy affair. Shout out to all the fans who gutted it out in less than ideal conditions. But, they were down 13-0. Not much was going right for their offense. You're thinking, oh man, they're going to get spanked. But this Elks team's a little bit different. They bounced back and they had a little blip in the fourth quarter and then they won it in overtime. That's a massive win for them.
Oh, against a good team on a rough day, a tough day to execute. This Fajardo, like, did his arm get worse this year? Like, everything's the rainbow that this guy throws. He doesn't throw a lot of darts. Kind of reminds me of Tom Wilkinson for all you old guys out there, right? He doesn't move real well. He doesn't throw it real hard, but he's very accurate. He's got some savvy. He's got it looks like he's got a lot of gamesmanship, and the call they make to win the game on that quarterback, keeper basically, is a great play. Who expects Fajardo to run the ball at that point in time? Nobody. So it's a nice call and good for the Elks, man. I'll tell you what, a team that's had every bad break you could imagine over the last, whatever it's been, 5-6 years, when they got the call on that fumble in overtime because 53, the offensive lineman, just got his fingers on that ball before it hit the sideline, man. When they got that call, I thought, you know what? That break has been a long time coming for the Elks. We say good teams get breaks. I guess they're a good team now, huh?
Yeah, well, that Bordner play I wrote about, it turned out to be a massive play, man. Massive play. Just because otherwise the game's over at that point.
Over.
There's no question. So that was huge for them. We even
Rankin was huge for him.
Oh yeah, Rankin's been for 2 weeks, man. It's been unreal. Now, I am very curious to see what the Elks will look like in normal football conditions. Like, just, how much better could their execution potentially be?
Yeah, well, hey, whatever. Like, you take them as they come. Some days it rains on your game. Some days it doesn't. What I like is the fact that they've dealt with 2 awful, awful days. And, the other team has made the big mistake. Like, generally, you know how bad weather games get decided, Jason. They get decided on turnovers and penalties. And this Elks team has survived 2 weeks in a row here where the other team made the crucial turnover and the other team took the bad penalty. And they're bad weather football. Sometimes it's just about hanging around and keeping yourself in a position to win and not giving the ball away, giving the ball away in the rain or the snow or whatever you're playing in. So listen, they look a lot more polished. They've certainly got some belief and some ability to sustain in bad condition football, right? That kind of weather shows when your team has cracks. It didn't show very many cracks against Montreal, man. I give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, it was a huge win for them. It sucks for the fans. Probably sucks for the organization. You obviously lose a ton of money up and everything like that. But hopefully, you know what? They got 2 road games now. If you could somehow split on the road, you come back, you're 3-1 against Ottawa on a Thursday night and July 9th. If it's a nice night, I think it could have a really big crowd out. So it's things are trending in the right direction for them. And lastly, Spec, on the orders, Kasperi Kapanen, maybe he'll do a Brett Kulak test the market. We know Henrique's not coming back. We know Jack Roslovic isn't coming back. I don't think Curtis Lazar is returning. You hearing anything on goaltending?
I'm not. You know what? And people are starting, like, I was listening to a hit, Kevin's hit with Alex Adams out of Ottawa this morning, and he brought up, Ottawa needs a goalie too. He brought up Ingram. They're talking about Ingram out there. They're talking about Stu Skinner out there. And Bowman's got to have some kind of I think he's got to be trying to pull something off here. It would be too easy to just sign Ingram and say, okay, same 2 guys are back. I think he wants something better, and now what is something? Florida's in the market for something else too, right? And that's pretty tough when you're looking for a goalie and Florida's looking for a goalie. Sometimes they pick Florida over you. You know what I'm saying? So
potentially on who it is. I do say, hey, what if Florida doesn't pick Tarasov? And because I'm gonna say, if that guy makes the free agent market, I'd have a lot of interest in him.
I guess he's been good for him. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with Bob. Apparently he wants more money than anyone wants to give him.
Well, but honestly, if you're Bobrovsky, you're looking to say, hey, wait a sec. Sam Bennett got 8. The guy had 50 points once. He got $8 million for 8 years. Look at Brad Marchand, 37. He got, of the money. So I could see why he's saying everybody in Florida is now. He already got paid, but I can understand why he says, hey, I should get paid. But he's a little bit of a sign with caution guy, I think, for me.
Oh,
especially
old Russian goalies. Come on, man. Like what? How much focus is there? He's won 2 cups already. If you bring him to a new town, how much does he really want to do this? Is he in it for the money? I don't know the guy personally, but you're right. Sign with caution. Is he going to be as good for anyone else as he was for Florida in those 2 cup runs? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. It's going to be tough because he was very good for that. But age, to me, if I get Bobrovsky on a 2-year deal, I'd still probably do it. But I'm not giving him 4 or 5. That to me is where it becomes, I'll give a 4 or 5-year deal to a 32, 33-year-old. I get it. There's a little bit of risk at 36, 37. We're talking in his early 40s, whose last few regular seasons, no thanks. I'll be very curious to see. I know there's lots of talk that Toronto's interested in him and stuff. And I'm like, Toronto? They've already got 2 goalies. Maybe they're interested in him, but then what are they going to do with Hill? They're going to trade one of their other goalies, so we'll have to see. But I'm very curious to see what happens with goalie Bob in the free agent market.
Yeah, and is St. Louis going to hang on to Binnington? What's going to happen there? I mean, the market, it's probably time to turn him over if I'm Doug Armstrong. They got Hofer, who's a nice goalie behind him. There's still a good market for Binnington out there. There's someone's going to want this guy. And if he has another horrible regular season, maybe that market's going to start to wane a little bit. I got to think St. Louis moves Binnington somewhere. Bob's going to play somewhere.
Yeah, well, hey, there's the rumblings of Binnington to Florida, so
that's it, right?
We'll see. Hey, what did you make of the Tkachuk trade?
What did I make of it? I mean, it works for everybody, right? Tkachuk wants out of Ottawa. He wants into Florida to play with his brother. He's a really good player. And Florida just got an excellent winger and a tough, good hockey player. Like, I like Brady Tkachuk, man. He played for my team every day. So I love that. I feel a little bit for Ottawa. They've drafted a guy, but that became their best player and then just walked away from him. That's hard. That's hard. I guess you got to furnish the guy with the team you can't walk away from, Jason. I think that, to me, that's the moral of the story. Like, I know with the podcast and all that stuff and the U.S. Olympic team that Tkachuk started to distance himself from Ottawa. But I think what happens is you got to give a guy a team, that can win a Stanley Cup, that's close, that he doesn't want to leave, that like McDavid wants to stay with and finish what he started. That Ottawa team, they're still, after all these years, they're not that close, are they?
No, not really. But there was a talk. I was talking to guys in Ottawa, and there's people that are saying basically since the Olympics, Tkachuk and really his dad has been doing everything to try to, get him to Florida. And so, hey, and I talked about the super teams. I'm like, hey, the NBA went through this thing, and a few worked, most didn't. I still don't. Everybody jumps over about the no tax states and all that stuff, or no state tax and yada yada. And I look and I say, okay, please show me the players who signed in Florida at a low rebate to give Florida. The players themselves make more money because they pocket more. But name the player in Florida who signed this great deal that was $2 million less because he was making the same in taxes. The answer is no one. Bobrovsky was $10 million goalie 8 years ago. Right? 8 years ago. Barkov, $10 million player. Tkachuk, when he signed for 9.5, was the going rate. Sam Bennett's a one-time 50-point player, and he got $8 million. So just anybody tell me, everybody always talks about it. Just show me the guys who are making huge savings. I'm like, oh, this guy could have got way more elsewhere. Who?
Well, the other thing we discount is, how about the guy in Canada making US dollars? Like, okay, he's paying
100%.
taxes, but he's making 35% more than his neighbor.
Connor McDavid's contract living in Canada is over $17 million.
Yeah,
right?
that's
because he lives here year round. Yeah,
that's a pretty good discount too.
Yes, and like last I checked, there's some Dallas has been competitive, but never got over the top. Seattle's been junk. Nashville's whatever. They had one time. And Florida was terrible for 30 years till they got competent management. The tax never changed. They just got competent management. I think that's what people...
You're right what you say. Players do like to, they like their accountants and everybody, they all consider it. I listened to Brad Marchand talk about it for 15 minutes at the Cup. Was it last 2 years ago, maybe? It is a factor for players. Their agents, they break it all down. Here's what you earn. Here's what you keep. Like, it is a factor. You can't say it's not. But in the end, I still see guys coming to Edmonton, right, to try to win a cup. And I still see guys going to other towns that aren't in the tax-free place. We make a big deal out of it. Every time Florida signs somebody, every time Dallas signs somebody, they go to other towns too.
Yeah, very true. Spec, have yourself a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow, probably post-Babcock press conference.
Yes, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
There you go. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Connor Murphy up next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The Riverhawks return this weekend for First Responders Firework Friday. Enjoy Country Nights Mechanical Bull on Saturday with Daisy's Saloon. Then Boston Pizza presents baseballs and body slams on Sunday with a real wrestling ring. Fun for the whole family. Tickets at gohawks.ca.
Boxing Day is back at Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses, plus get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day this Saturday and Sunday, only at The Brick. Exclusions apply. See you in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Allen Olson Auctions presents the annual Rimby Summer Consignment Sale. Online bidding is open right now through June 24th at AllenOlsonAuction.com. Bid on a wide variety of machinery, including tractors, haying and harvest equipment, new and used attachments, trucks and trailers, and construction equipment, plus passenger vehicles, sea cans, cattle handling equipment, mobile homes, buildings, recreational equipment, and over 2,000 miscellaneous lots. For details, call Allen Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit AllenOlsonAuction.com.
Looking for mental health or addiction support, but not sure where to start? Contact 211. 211 Alberta can help you navigate treatment and recovery options, counseling, crisis services, and more. And because life's challenges are often connected, they can also help you find food, housing, and employment support. It's free, confidential, available 24/7, and offered in more than 240 languages by phone. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Ooh, yeah.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. You know what I learned today? Did you know that Mackie Smaskowicz has a twin sister? Cons. I learned that reading the story about his trade over the weekend from Florida to the Seattle Kraken. As the Kraken are just trying to, hey, they got, a young player that they feel, hey, maybe we can get a few other young players because they got to do something. The problem with Seattle is, like, their older guys aren't that good. And their younger guys have potential, but not necessarily that good. We'll see. But Smaskowicz and Beniers did play together before, so we'll try to maybe reignite something. You got Berkeley Catton coming. They got some pieces, but I look at Seattle and, with Anaheim, the way they're going, like, I look at Anaheim's best young players, they're way better than Seattle's best young players. And that's why it's going to be hard for them to catch them. And then there's Edmonton and there's Vegas. Pretty tough. Right? And they got to probably move ahead of LA. LA is an interesting team for me to see what they're going to do here. I think they might be more aggressive than people think, or at least they're going to try to take some swings. Right? They already got Panarin. I think they're going to swing big. If I had to give you, or you had to give me, Cons, of a few wild cards for Alex Tuck, don't rule out the LA Kings for Alex Tuck. So,
I mean, they should be interested. You got a lot of tough teams in the Pacific. You got to keep up.
Yeah.
A guy who, easy 30-goal scorer, at least has been the last few years.
Well, 3 of the last 4, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be all in if I was the LA Kings. I'd be going for it.
Okay. The Elks, not great news today. The injury for Nick Anderson did not practice. Luke Burton-Cron also man, he might be done with the Achilles. That wasn't good. Their long snapper. Robistelli's not going to play again. Tamari Fox was limited practicing. We'll see if he gets back in. But the Nick Anderson one, hamstring injury, that's something to watch to see if he's going to be ready or not for Thursday. Do hear that Kettle's likely going to make his first start in the CFL for the green and gold. Good for him. He's, you know what? I think he's been a young guy, and they gave the veterans the benefit of the doubt for a few weeks, and I don't know if they can do that any longer. Mathis, I thought, dropped 2 balls in that game, and I'm sorry. Like, it's right in your hand, and you can't use wet as an excuse. Sorry. We heard from Austin Mack and goes, the gloves you have when they get wet, they're almost stickier. So I'm just sorry. I thought Mathis didn't have himself a great game at all. So that opens the door. Now, we're going to get to let's hear from Connor Murphy a little bit, as well as Jason Dickinson. But first with Murphy and why he chose Edmonton and rather than pursue free agency.
Okay. For me, mainly, I would say through how positive the experience was after the trade deadline. Being a part of Edmonton, my family and myself just felt super welcomed and really felt like we hit it off with the team, with the families, the wives, kids of having a 2-year-old now, wanting something that wherever we are, we're going to be happy and comfortable with, living in a city, wherever that may be. And then with the team, the hockey environment, with the high-end talent and the ceiling of what the team is capable of, really strives a lot of motivation and passion that I felt revitalized with since being traded. So it made that excitement feel like a top priority to keep it going. And there wasn't another situation, a feeling that could have capped that going to free agency.
When you and then Murphy was asked about, does the team heading into this season, like, is the whole focus and theme keep the puck out of the net, cha-cha-cha? Is that what is it too simple to say that?
I don't think there's a lot to continue to speculate on the playoff series. I think we got outplayed in the way that we did give up a lot of goals, and a lot of them were breakdowns for us, giving up a lot of grade A chances, and then our penalty kill not performing very well and giving up goals that way too. So that is a priority, I think, for any team. I don't think that's something that's hard to figure out. That needs to be a priority of ours as players and staff and everyone. So I think just moving forward, having a lot of time to sit on it and kind of feel that pain of being out so early as a group brings back that motivation and health for everyone to come in and just make sure that the team puts our best foot forward and realizing what hasn't worked in the past and what's going to work going forward.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You have to find out what necessarily works and what doesn't. Lastly, I asked him about the penalty kill. Obviously played in it. What do you feel the PK needs to do to be better next season?
Yeah, I'll add on that a little bit about, I think, having guys, like a group of consistent players. Like you said, in Chicago, we had 4 of us that were killing together every penalty kill. So just to have kind of some chemistry and then being able to build momentum. Once you takes a little bit to start a season with a group of guys. And that's why it was tough when we got there with mixing up our kills with adding players. You want to build momentum through the details that coaches are bringing. And then you ride that and you just gain that confidence between the goalie and the players on positioning and angles. And you end up getting saves where you should have gotten scored on because goalies know where you're standing. And you end up getting confidence and then you make a mistake because you trust it's not going to happen again and your teammates. So there's a little bit of momentum. And I've heard talking with some guys, Eki and Bush and even Stu coaching about the playoffs. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. They said they went on a crazy run and they didn't get scored on. So just to have that momentum, I think, is big, and gaining confidence in each other, I think, will be a big thing to start the season with whatever sort of system that we're trying to consistently build with.
And going to Jason Dickinson, I asked him about his thoughts as well as the penalty kill and what he feels could help it be better next year.
That's a hard question. I think, you look at different teams and different systems and what works. And, Carolina plays an all-out press. All 4 guys are constantly going the whole time. And they're the gold standard right now because they just won the Stanley Cup. So would that system necessarily work for us? Would it work for another team? Maybe not. It's really important that as a group of PKers and whoever might be out there on the kill, there's going to be guys that rotate in and out that aren't consistent. But as the core group of PKers, it's important that with the coaching staff, we put together a plan that works best for the players, because you can implement a system that doesn't make sense for the guys that you have on the ice, and it's not going to work. So it's important that everybody has feedback on what feels right, what they feel like they're opening up, and what's getting exposed. So biggest thing is to communicate with the coaches and the players that, hey, this doesn't feel right, or this is what's been working and what I like to do. And these are my tendencies and how it fits in with this system. I've played all kinds of, I started with the top-down press. I went to a diamond in Chicago, and then we went to more of a hybrid press down with a diamond in Chicago there at the last year with Blash. So it's not that one system works; it's that the system needs to fit the players.
There you go, from guys who kill penalties, because to me that's a major factor for the Edmonton Oilers moving forward. Must-have improvement area. PK, number 1, I would think, of the offseason. We'll take a quick break, come back with Cam Tate, wrap things up in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
You want it? We got it. At Harley-Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. If your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Whatever the job, consider it done with the Lawnmower Hospital in Eagle. Top-rated brand in cordless outdoor equipment. From grass trimmers to air blowers and more, there's nothing you can't accomplish with Ego. Wet, dry vacuums, tire inflators, snow blowers, and so much more. The list keeps going and Ego keeps working. Check lawnmowerhosp.com now for stock and pricing.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all the games with $6.50 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Continue on. Gregor Halley, Declan Kruger on a lovely Monday afternoon. Sunny outside. Oh, great. After a few days of rain, this is nice. Very nice. Now, let's get, it is the Gregor Show, is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca tomorrow. Lotto Max, $30 million. And 30 prizes of $100,000. Get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where your rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Here is the man, the myth, the legend, Cam Tate.
104 Avenue. Snowy night. The kind of cold that, well, you know the kind. You've driven it. East or west, doesn't matter. You're just trying to get home in one piece. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about a winter drive home in this city. It all comes down to one question. Did they win? Oilers won tonight? Okay, so here's what happens. You pass that restaurant. The one you always pass. Always. You've been saying you'll go. Tonight, you actually say it out loud. To yourself. In the car. Tonight's the night. You mean it this time. You probably don't mean it. But tonight, you mean it. Somebody nudges in front of you. Wants a car length. You know what you do. You smile. You wave them right in. Hey, we're all friends out here tonight. And the heater? The one that's been broken since, I don't know, November? Tonight, it feels like it works. It doesn't work. But you're warm, so. Now, Oilers lost. Different drive. Completely different drive. The snow isn't just falling anymore. It's coming at you sideways. Like it read the final score and took it personally. Every red light on 104 holds just a little too long. You sit there. You wait. You think about that third period. And the radio finds you. It always finds you. That one song. The slow one. You don't change it. You just sit at 104 and 142 STRET, and you let it play all the way through. Win or lose, though, eventually you pull into the driveway. And right before you hit that garage door opener, you think about who's waiting on the other side. After a win, it's loud. High fives. Everybody's talking at once. After a loss, it's quieter. It's hugs, hand squeezes. You hold on a little longer than usual. Maybe a lot longer. Connor Murphy and Jason Dickinson both signed new deals with the Oilers today. And both of them said basically the same thing. Their families want to be here, in Edmonton. They want to grow here, win here. They get it. They get the drive home. Because the cold out there on 104 Avenue, that was never really the point. The warmth was always behind the garage door. It still is. Drive safe tonight, everybody. The 2-minute warning. This is Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
The Oilers in the wintertime when it's cold, hey, having two defensive-minded guys is great. I think more people go because of the offensive-minded guys. They're like, hey, we're going to the game. I'll probably see a few points. But I'll say this about the Oilers. Tater's right about the fact that as a team, you commit to playing good defense, the wins will follow. And the numbers back it up. And it doesn't mean you have to be less offensive. I think that is the biggest myth going. Connor McDavid in 2024. Right? Look at his numbers that year. What year was it when he had the he was plus 16 in 56 games? Right? 64-48. The next year, 73 and 50 in 2022. 73 and 50. Goals against were down. Right? He was up to 68 goals against this year. And basically, similar amount of minutes played. Your offense doesn't have to struggle that much when you play good defensive hockey. Just how it goes. And the Oilers have shown they can do it. And I said it at the end of the season. Next year, and this is when I thought Knobloch would come back. He's going to learn. Because I actually talked to Coach Knobloch. He knew there was areas that he had to improve on as a coach. Still pretty young as a coach. You're always learning and growing. Thought the players would come back. They admitted they had taken the regular season maybe not as serious as they need to be. They were going to be rested. No one needs off-season surgery unless someone gets hurt between now and the start of the season, but no one requires it now. Right? They're rested. They're determined. Now you throw in the fact they have a new coach. And every time this group gets a new coach, they play great up to start. So I would fully expect the Edmonton Oilers will have a good start to next season. I would actually be very surprised if they don't. Coming up after the show, the Jays are taking on Houston. Cons, did comebacker just hit the pitcher? Is that what I saw?
I think you did. Yeah, right on the left elbow. From George Springer.
Oof. Yeah, it's not on his pitching hand.
Nope.
Right? So, that he kind of got himself like with his back facing the hitter. It's never good.
No.
He literally spun a 180 off the mound. So it's kind of hard to catch the ball when it's backwards. So
you don't know where it's going.
No.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous for sure. So you'll after the conclusion of this show, we will have the Jays and Houston as the Jays. I don't know if you saw that game on Saturday, but they were down 5-0, a huge comeback to win, and we'll see if they can build off of that. It's an early 1-1 score between the Jays and Houston. World Cup of soccer continues on, of course, or I guess World Cup of football. Either way, World Cup continues on, and Canada on Wednesday with a massive game. We got coming up later today, Norway and Senegal, Jordan and Algeria. Then tomorrow, Portugal, Uzbekistan, England and Ghana. And away we go. Also, the France game it's in a delay. Find out. Cons might have an update on that one as well. Have yourselves a wonderful day. That's the game is actually in delay. Then coming up later on. Here's the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. If you're looking for a vehicle, no better place with selection. Over 15,000 vehicles, 73 different locations, lots of different makes and models in your favorite colors. Get it at goauto.ca. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
Connor Murphy's time with the Oilers will continue as they signed the defenseman to a 5-year extension of $20.4 million. That's an AAV of 4.1. The signing comes a day after the Oilers signed forward Jason Dickinson to a 5-year, $20 million deal. The Hockey Hall of Fame announcing the class of 2026 with 5 players and 1 builder. Receiving the honor, Patrice Bergeron, Jerry Price, Chuck Rene, Keith Tkachuk, Sidney Curley as players, Brian Burke elected as the builder. At the World Cup earlier today, Lionel Messi scored twice for Argentina as they defeated Austria 2-0. Right now, France leading Iraq 1-0 in a rain delay. They're expecting to get that one going shortly. Later tonight, you got Senegal and Norway from Jersey, and then out in California, it's Algeria taking on Georgia just after 9 o'clock. Major League Baseball, Jays right now tied with the Astros, 1 apiece heading into the third. We'll join that game in progress following the upcoming commercial break on our AM dial. Elsewhere, Tigers lead the Yankees 5-1 in the fifth. Also in the fifth, Royals up on the Rays 2-1. The Marlins at home trail the Rangers 2-0. Well, the Dodgers and Twins tied at 1 apiece in the first. Later tonight, Rockies and Red Sox. The Orioles get the Angels. Padres host the Braves. The Cubbies and Mets postponed due to rain. They'll make that one up on Wednesday. And from the association, free agent Trae Young intending to sign a four-year, approximately $212 million deal to stay with the Washington Wizards, including a player option in year 4. That'll do it for us here on the Gregor Show. Up next on the AM feed, it is Blue Jays baseball if you're streaming Fox Sports Radio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
It's like a locker room minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter